What's up, Hex fam? Guys, I've been cracked out staring at my phone since 4 a.m. this morning, and I gotta tell you, I was in the Twitter spaces early, chatting it up, having a good time early on, and I just got to thinking. I got to thinking fucking crazy shit. Lots of stuff going on in the Hex community, and now that we're in a bear market a little bit, it's kind of nice to be able to point out some of these things that get overlooked, right? I'm going to say some shit on here today that people are going to think I'm either one, stupid or fudding or whatever, but in reality, you're dumb and it's the truth. Because at this point, guys, you're watching the show, you know I'm not bullshitting you. I have nothing to bullshit about. Like we're just trying to look stuff up. So basically, I'm going to be bringing up stuff about onboarding, what financial incentives for people to do things, what to look out for, how to not get scammed. You can get scammed blatantly, but you can also get scammed by a slow bleed or a sacrifice phase that you thought would be something that wouldn't be. Anyone who thinks that's a trigger word because that's part of your project, sorry to be you. You're a fucking bitch. But those are the true things. When people will get your money in numerous freaking ways, okay? I want to expose it all so that people within the community that are scamming people, and when I say scam, I mean they're ripping people off and their incentives are not clear. If somebody comes up and they says, my incentive is to do this, and then they show you with their feet that it's something else, they're just a bullshit liar. But if they were like, hey, I'm selling shit, I'm making a little bit of money, I'm grinding, let's go, I'd fucking buy that shit. I would buy it. If somebody's like, hey, I'm grinding, making some money, affiliate link, use it if you want it. That's a way better way to do it than say, for example, everyone's just like, all I want is adoption to pulsechain. That's all I want. But really, you're making $1 million from some project that you're doing or some bullshit. It's like, be fucking transparent. And if you think you're a badass, you're fucking not. I'm fucking jacked up. Let's go. Guys, throw a bicep up. Boom, 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 boom.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Heart. Richard Heart.
Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Point one every day we mark. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Heart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Heart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the Hex, he is mooning. Looking at why they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out and get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex, I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this pulsechain lingo. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this pulsechain lingo. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Heart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Heart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Richard Heart. Richard Heart. Richard Heart. Richard Heart.
What's going on, guys? My name is GRC. This is Sam Stoll.
How is he doing? How is he doing? How are you doing, brother? I'm doing
legs.
awesome.
I'm still peeking.
Oh, look at that. You just got a super chat.
Whoa, guys. I got my first super chat. That's so cool.
Yes. What's good for
dude? I'm so happy about that because I forgot that function. I forgot about that. I was looking at that yesterday, Sam. So Sam, I got my affiliate sponsorship for YouTube or whatever.
Dope. And you got a $3.69.
I'm not going to call him out because I'm going to have to say it legit. Bullish is my producer, one of my freaking best friends at this point, one of the most level-headed guys I talk to. I love that he's level-headed, dude. He's so in the industry, like you could tell because like all the up and down, he just kind of is like, guys. And anyway, anyone who's not following Bullish, he's in the green room right now. He's awesome. He's in the Twitter spaces all the time. He's here to learn about crypto. He's not super new to crypto, but he's been a couple months in here and he loves it just like we do. Like he's just, he fucking loves this shit. He wants to know the truth. It's lit.
Congrats on the getting over 1,000 and getting it approved. Because I on my other channel just crossed over 1,000, and there's an issue with that channel. Not that it won't get approved, but it says, "Oh, go apply." And you go to apply, and there's just no button there. So yours went through very, very quickly. Where that on my other channel, not the one that I'm simulcasting here, but a fitness-related channel, I still don't have, even though I'm approved for that.
I know you're teasing.
What? Look at that, Bradley. You're blowing up, dude.
Bradley Lincoln, thank you so much for the super chat, guys. Sam, again, these guys are crazy. I want to talk real quick. This has been a crazy month, dude. This has been a crazy month for me. I quit my job. Not money wise, just like really just life wise, like just life stuff in your face. I learned what true freedom feels like. I've learned what feeling like you're up against a corner feels like. I've been robbed at this point, blind. I've been everything you can imagine. And it's like, I'm not even almost giving up on anything. Like I never even considered it. It never crossed my mind to try something else. Never one time. I was like, it's never crossed my mind to switch from Hex to Terra Luna. It's never crossed my mind once to switch from pulsechain back to Ethereum, maybe look into Ethereum a little stronger. It's never crossed my mind once because the authenticity and the honesty that Richard Hart has brought to my life, and as far as being transparent on the internet, has changed my life. It has changed my life because he showed me what it's like. You don't have to be perfect, but he's going to say what he feels online. And for everyone that wants to suppress me, there's not family members. They don't want to suppress me, but everyone wants you to shut up, right? They don't want you to say anything that's controversial because it stirs the pot. But guess what, babies? I don't give a fuck at all.
At what point does the truth become controversial? Only in today's society where, up is down and left is right, and doing horrible shit is a good thing and doing good stuff is bad. Like that's some
Bradley Lincoln. I can't thank you enough for the $100 super chat. This guy's in the talk space every morning, past couple of days. Fucking great guy. Just jumps in the mix, starts talking hex like he's like these Hexicans. I'm telling you, dude, they're a fucking special breed. Bradley, if you're not in the Telegram group, I think you are. Sorry, I haven't been looking at it. Tracy G, another person who's always been supportive to everyone in this community. Always being nice, kind, genuine, bringing that motherly feel. So we're a little more kind, a little more gentle. Can't thank you enough. Erwin, been here since day one watching me. Thank you so much. Cryptographics, you are my guy. And I want you to know that I want you to come on here like maybe in an hour if you can, or maybe another time. Crypto Compassion, great to see you. This guy let me borrow his streaming camera for no reason.
Oh, dope.
No, his vlogging camera, Sam.
That's dope.
He sent it to me in the mail just because he was like, hey, I'm not using this anymore and I want to be helpful to the community. Wow. So that's Crypto Compassion, the real one. Talked to me on the phone for 35 minutes, 45 minutes, great conversation. So I'm saying, Sam, these people are really, it's insane. Some of these guys. We're all making content at debatably one of the most difficult times in Hex. Yeah, that is so true, dude. We are grinding right now when everyone would quit. So just of the most difficult times in Hex. So just wait until things are back up. Oh, I know. And Sam is going to be so happy. He's going to be like, man, the vibes are insanity. And I'm going to be like, yeah, because the vibes really, you cannot, you go into a state of euphoria for months on end. So it's really odd. It's almost a phenomenon that you can't control because you wake up in the morning and your bank account's going up and all your friends are so happy and like all your projects have been working out and you're like, it puts you in this like, and everyone says you get the pink cloud, Sam. And where's
I probably got a little bit of that with Tesla because I was in on Tesla but the run up was, maybe like a 4x or something like that, or 5x. So not exactly the same thing, but a little bit of that. And you're like, oh shit, damn, this is crazy. And your account just keeps going up and it goes up and it goes up, but not like as crazy as 10x's or 50x's or 100 or 1,000, like 1,000x. That's insane. That's insane. Those numbers are just astonishing, and it's hard to fathom that without going through. You can't fathom that without actually going through 1,000x. It's crazy.
I want to go through the chat real quick. I want to go top to bottom on a little bit of like baseline security and onboarding. A couple of the things that I think the Hexicans do wrong when they're onboarding, and you guys could say whatever you want. I haven't onboarded anyone since I started this channel. So I stopped onboarding to learn more about onboarding, to be honest. I have ceased onboarding until I feel more comfortable, because I just realized now it's a free-for-all. It's a free-for-all for people to say they know what they're doing when they don't, Sam. And you know that, Sam. So let's talk to the comments a little bit, guys. I'm going to slow it down for the first 30 minutes of the show. I've been learning a little bit on the side about how to run a show. And so I think it's important for us to have our time with you guys where we're not just like mind-bending talking to each other, because at the end of the day, this is all about you guys. And I'm realizing that more as time goes on, right? Like in the beginning, it was more about me learning. And now it's more about what can I bring to these guys to change the world or the community a little bit. Like Sam, imagine if I can make 1,000 people not get scammed in my life.
Yeah, align the light. Thank you for the super chat.
Oh, dude. Snap. $55. Align the light. Great work, GRC and Sam. Keep up the work. Thank you so much, Align the Light. I mean, this is like my vibes are really good right now. I've really been going through a hard couple of days, but like never once did I falter or like put my head down ever. Not for 1 second. Never even close, to be honest. But it still was like when you pull up to Enterprise Rent-A-Car and your rental car poops out and your totaled car is next to that one in the lot and they have no extra cars for you. And you're just like, I had one of those days. Just my rental car actually pooped out at the place where they had to estimate my car. So I was like, I need another car. And they're just like, dude. So anyway, just stressful stuff. Obviously, me and my girl broke up not a couple weeks ago, and she don't talk to me no more. But that's just for the birds now. Crypto, me hori me noi.
There was another super chat from Bob. What's good, Bob?
Another super chat, guys. I'm gonna get better at this as the super chats, not in general, because like I definitely want to make sure I talk to anyone who would donate money for certain. Chris Psychedelics, hey, Psychic Effects. Appreciate what you're doing by adminning those Facebook groups. Really do appreciate what you're doing with the. He's
Chris is in the admin of several of those groups.
Or like the Hex and the Pulse one, like the normal. I think he's in there. Him and I'm
in like 5 or 6.
Tin Top, how are you doing? I appreciate you. Yeah, I heard a lot about Sam talking like this in the beginning. Really changes the dynamic of the show. So, and it changes the dynamic because the only negative connotations I've gotten are that I don't address anyone.
Oh, and we're actually, so I agree we should definitely go through and talk and address the comments. So sometimes we skip over that. And I think engaging with the community is like, think about that with customers or relationships or anything. It's always better to have that engagement. And speaking of that engagement, I wanted to actually shout out Bullish for doing the same thing. 369 super chat over on my channel, because today is the first day we're doing a simulcast on both channels. So like that's dope. Thank you. That's Bullish is helping both of us out in the background. Super helpful. So thank you for that.
Let's talk about the simulcast and like kind of how that works, just for anyone who streams or anyone who wants to know. Maybe some people want to watch Sam shits a little more exclusively, which is totally fine. That's kind of how it works. It really makes no fucking difference. The people that like you can watch you anyway. So, and me and Sam know that. Like that's why when you find business partners too, you have to be ready to just, and business partners, I mean, like even friends, like there's going to be decisions that have to be made. You have to be really open-minded and just say like trustworthy, right? Like you have to be trustworthy, Sam. I think that's it, right? Like I think you trust me and I trust you at this point, not like on paper, like, but in general, right? Like it's just like, which is odd these days, Sam, isn't it?
It is.
It's almost like rare. Like when I'm almost feeling trust with you and bullish, and like obviously not with like signatures and passwords and stuff, guys, but like as far as just genuine friendship and emotionally opening up and like helping each other. And it's like, wow, this is something that I couldn't find on feet. I couldn't find it on the feet, Sam.
But it also cut it like, so there's the CEO or founder of, I think it's like Alex Chetty or something. I have no idea what his name is, honestly, but I think it starts with a C, for Airbnb. One of the things that he talks about is trust, and how increasing trust in the ecosystem, not just in like the consumers going to people's house to rent them out, but like trust between the employees at Airbnb, trust as in the super hosts or people who are hosting their properties, with between the hosts and the Airbnb, and between the hosts and the end thing, and the whole overall ecosystem of promoting things that promote trust. And one of the things to increase trust between people and just overall in your life with everybody you interact with is just being more straightforward with yourself and being honest in everything. And
what you say has to mean what you say. It has to, guys. I won't speak to you. I promise, moving forward from this point forward, I will fucking not speak to you if you're not detailed with what you're saying. Even if it's funny, you have to be detailed, because otherwise you're being manipulative, in my opinion. Like, if it's just like the people, it's just like the people that assume authority within a crypto community and then tell the people what they want to tell them. And they don't scam anyone, but they ignore to tell them all the right info, Sam. It's not a scam if I don't tell Sam that there's $1 million under his bed. But if I know it's there and I just take it, then you know what I mean? Like, it's not a scam to discern people's focus. And that's what's going on, Sam. It's a focus thing. People have paid incentive to change people's focus. And you know that, Sam. Like, we all know that at this point. It's just like he's as real as breathing.
And do you have like something in mind that's caught you where you're like, oh, I think I should definitely talk about this?
Well, yes. So I want your take on this. So basically, you know, I got a lot of heat for getting, let me just say this for everyone who's not here. I got hacked like 65 days, 70 days ago ish, on one of my accounts, right? And they nuked the whole account. Everyone told me it was my secretary. I made some mistakes. I sent my seed words to my secretary at the time, and everyone was like, it's your secretary. But it turns out the account that hacked me has over 150 million hex. Have a feeling it's not my secretary.
Listen to what he just said.
150 million hex. There's entities or entity stealing millions and millions of hex from new people every single day on a repeated basis.
So give like more context, right? So
I did the ether scan basically of who stole my shit and where they send it, and they sent it to wallets that have over hundreds of millions of hex, millions and millions of dollars of other coins, millions and millions of dollars of hex. But hex is their largest bag, meaning that they're around.
So think about that. There's somebody who really knows what they're doing, or knows how to scam people, maybe not knows what they're doing in other areas of life, but knows how to steal money.
Millions of transactions on their account. Millions of individual transactions, Sam.
And you have this wallet, right? You maybe have a little ETH in there, and you have your hex stakes in there, and
some liquid.
Right? And you have Hedron, right? And you have all these things in your wallet. The seed phrase is compromised in some fashion, right? People thought it was somebody.
Everyone told me it was my secretary, 100%. Blah blah blah. I told everyone that probably not. It makes no fucking sense.
Like, she has no idea what she's doing. Yeah,
exactly. And she's like the nicest person I've met. I still talk to her. Like,
and then the money's gone, and you follow the address on.
Well, I didn't follow it for a while because I didn't even know about Etherscan when it first, like, to be honest, I didn't know about looking on Etherscan, and I was so depressed about it, I couldn't even look at it. Just so depressed about it. But then I started getting enough balls to send it to some friends and just be like, hey, you want to check this out for me? And a couple of my friends were like, dude, what the fuck? There's millions and hundreds of millions of dollars
MoFit Meals by Monica ask, how were you alerted? Like, how did you figure that out, dude?
I was on a Valiant brand stream. When I got off the stream, I opened my MetaMask. It had $0 in it. And it was from the morning of, so it wasn't like an alert. It was just like I was just checking my balance.
And so right now, you have no idea how this happened, right? If you guys have thoughts on
I
this,
couldn't. If there was a gun to my head, I wouldn't be able to say the exact way. No way.
No
but
idea.
I know I clicked on something. That is
You had to have. So what types of things? So let's
everything and anything you could have thought at the time. I was clicking through. This was my only computer. I was just fucking like, dude, I don't click anything anymore. So any kind of clicking. I got an invite RSVP for a freaking birthday party for my cousin, and I freaking erased the message. Like, I'm sick and scared, dude. I'm scared to death, bro.
Wow.
I'm scared, dude. Sam, like, if you really want to be honest, like, this is just made my life very difficult and hard.
Do you want to share? Because I know
I don't want to share the specifics about it as much as, like, guys, I feel paranoid. I feel I can't trust anyone. I feel that there's bigger overriding themes in the crypto community that people aren't talking about, and it's making me anxious because everyone can say, even Richard can say, Wales can say, everyone can say, don't be stupid, just do all the shit right. But this is like groundbreaking stuff, and like you want everyone and their mom to buy Hex, and it's not there yet. It's not there yet. Like, it's not user friendly enough yet. Let's be fucking frank. Yeah, you'll get rich on it. I'll get rich on it. We'll all get rich on it because I learned by getting wrecked for 20 grand plus. Like, so it's just, you cannot trust what people think, guys, or say. It doesn't matter if it's Richard or anyone. It doesn't matter who it's really coming from because people have different motives for speaking. Me, Hoy, Manoy, another $99 super chat. Dude, you guys are saving my fucking shit, dude. You guys have no fucking idea. Like,
that's awesome.
Anyway, that's where was I at?
Really, with the super chats. With the super chats. So you guys have a different point of view because you see us on here and maybe see some on Twitter and some on Instagram. But GRC and I have known each other for years, and what you're leaving in the super chats is going to be more impactful than you realize in a very helpful way. So like, it's going to be very, very helpful for GRC in this journey of like quitting.
And I'm going to make sure the shit that I'm telling you guys is one. I don't fucking thank you for the donations, whatever. Because at the end of the day, like you're going to be like, there's going to be so much value coming out of this when pulsechain launches. I want to be here for everyone in the community. I want to be here for them because I'm in that position. Yes, it's my job or whatever, like kind of thing I'm doing. But like, dude, I have the opportunity to help people heavy, really hard.
No, I agree. This is interesting.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can set up alerts on your Etherscan to notify you activity on the wallets. It's all right. It's all nuked.
It's all yes. Yeah, and I don't know
in general, guys, that's a technique. It's all nuked, all gone. That whole wallet's written off. Yeah, the super are absolutely insane, guys. Thank you again, but I do want to keep talking about what we're talking about. I have to keep talking about this because I'm passionate about this right now.
So let me ask you a question. What would you have liked to know if you were brand new getting in today, given
never to use my phone, never to download Staker app, never to get involved on my phone at all, because then if you have to transfer it off your phone, you have to type in your seeds in, so that makes it compromised right there. So I would have never gone on my phone. I would have never downloaded Staker. I would have never, and by downloading Staker, that's just because I don't use my phone for crypto personally. But if you had a burner phone, totally fine. That's actually
that's a good idea. I should do that on
you have a burner phone, totally fine. I don't agree with having your Staker app on your phone. Obviously, that would be stupid as fuck. And if you do it, I'll steal your lunch money. Yeah, so I wish someone told me, Scott, you really need to invest in a separate computer, that you don't click on anything. And yes, the people might have been there saying it overall, but like nobody was like, dude, you're going to get real robbed. Like I tell people right away, I'm like, if you don't focus on this, you will lose all of it. That's what I say when I onboard people, because I want to know if they're down, you know? Like if I told Sam, hey, dude, if you don't take care of your security, you lose all of it, he'd be like, game, dude, I'll take care of my security. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Right? But most people are just like, no, that's scary. Whoa, whoa. It's like, fuck no, dude. I want to be the first guy to do it right and tell everyone how to do it right, right?
Especially now, before you go through that 10, 100,000x, whatever it could possibly be, like take care of that. So you said not using your phone, right? So what can you talk on each one of those points a little bit? Why do
when
you
you use your
not
phone
want
for
it?
crypto, generally you learn at some point that you shouldn't be using your phone.
Why?
Because I could just tell you to give me your phone and then put a gun to your back and say, put your password in and send it to myself.
But wouldn't that be any different than a computer?
Yeah, but I'd have to come to your crib and like that would be different. Like you're going to be in the street, right? Like,
Gotcha. So it's like carrying around cash in your wallet, so to speak. You're not going to carry
exactly. So why you got something
$100,000
on your
pocket.
person when you don't need something on your person, right? You're going to the grocery store. Why you got to have $100,000 on you? Right? Like,
Great, 100% agree. This is why I wanted to ask you. What other reasons would you not want it to have on your phone? Like that's a fantastic.
Lose a phone than a laptop. What are you going to lose first? A phone or your goddamn laptop in your desk? You're not going to lose your laptop. It's never going anywhere. It stays in your desk or your backpack. Your phone goes all here to the gym, in the bathroom, everywhere. You just lose it, and then guess what? If you forget your seeds, that's it. So having a phone is too much access. It's too much like there's too much this. Like it just needs to be more concrete than that, in my opinion. Now this is the way that I think too. Like other people are like that makes perfect sense to me. I'll be really tight on my phone, but I'm talking about the average user. Whenever Jim Rat is speaking, it's about the average user. I kind of overarching theme it because it's easier to speak that way. It's way easier to speak for like the whole team rather than just like one specific way. Ask another question.
Monica asks, so what if your phone gets stolen?
Well, then you would have your seed phrases written down, and hopefully you wouldn't have it so you can have it so that they need to put their seed phrases to get into the phone. But generally, what most people do that have a phone is they just have it so you need a password to get in. So really, if they just got your password, which you probably type right in your notes because you're a freaking dork, just like I was, and or whatever, type it in your notes, give it to your secretary, anything, and yeah. So I would not put it on your phone, guys. Don't put it on your phone unless it's at the crib.
But somebody's going to have it on their phone, have like more of a trivial amount to just be like, hey, GRC, you should check out.
Oh no, I do that too. I have a couple $100 on my phone just so I can get robbed if I have to.
Yeah, okay. Or even just to show a friend that doesn't know anything about crypto. Hey, check this out, kind of thing.
No,
like,
I don't show friends that close anymore. I don't get that close to humans anymore. Literally, dude. Like I'm that sketched out. Like this thing changed my life forever.
Oh no, 100%. I mean, losing like that, yeah.
And I'm a young kid that knows everything at the
time. Monica also says a good point too, which we might think of as trivial, like, no shit, but it happens. It happens.
All right, real quick, I'll spiel to that. When your seed phrases come up when you're creating your wallet, you write them on a piece of paper. Don't fuck what everyone else says right now. Listen to me for a sec. You get a piece of paper, not just a fucking scratch pad. Get a notebook, I like a little one. It's more fun. But write your specific stuff. Go hide it in an outlet or something. If you really are sketched out, if someone's coming for your shit, dude, you're fucked anyway. But just hide it somewhere normal. And, that can be one of your seed phrases. Then you have another one. As you go, you get more. But write them down. Because once you type them into your computer, they are now established in a system somewhere, which somebody can.
Even if you put them into the system, John McCoy yesterday or 2 days, whenever it was talking about how if somebody really wants to, if you put them into the computer, they're still going to be in the memory in some fashion that a person who really wants to could get in there and get to them. So once that computer is done, once you put them in there, that's some,
He's taken stylist. He's taken, okay. Questions for me, stylist.
Nice to see you. I have an editing. What was she saying?
She said, I have a question for you. I have an editing question for you. I'll DM you. But make sure you follow her because your fucking DMs are always off. That shit kills me, dude. One more dork says, "What's Sam Stoltz flipping?"
I thought I turned mine on. Let me check them.
No, you just need to spam follow everyone, and it makes it better. Trust me. I hate when that shit's on. Guys, great point. I want to stop crypto stylist. That's a great point you just made, Sam. You're gonna want to listen to this too. I'm having 2 security gurus on, and they're gonna be debating
these 2 topics.
What's better, Trezor, Ledger? Straight up debate, and they both have hard stances on it.
Cool. This will be good. Okay.
McCoy and Papa. Papa, if you're watching this, I know I said you're coming on the show, and I didn't tell you all this yet, but that's what we're doing. And I really would love you to come. It's gonna be so nice, friendly. No, obviously, no horseplay as far as getting mad at nobody, but I want this is an important. This is an important point that we need to get across. What's up, Texas Hexican? Ooh, Texas Hexican, if you're still up in 15, 20 minutes, we'll be inviting people on in about 20, 30 minutes.
We can do the intro for that show as in the 2 contenders today. We have Hexican Papa and John McCoy going head to head in a battle to the death between Trezor and Ledger. So we bring in some additional energy.
Hey, can we tweet that out and clip that and then send it to both of them?
Yeah, I'd be like, here's the intro.
Guys, get this narrative going. Let's get this narrative going before we even double check with Papa, because if the narrative's already going, he'll just roll with it. He's a fun guy. He's a great guy.
He'll be,
but yeah, he was the first guy to. I went on their show and I got hacked, and everyone said I was lying. Everyone still thinks I'm lying about it.
Okay, so let's get back into the hack thing. Okay, so not your computer or not your phone, right? Now
separate computer that you don't look up porn, don't look up email, don't look up anything on.
So basically, you're going to need a new computer or reset everything for
$300 computer.
Yeah, where on the seed phrases, do you think, and do you do this for yourself, or like, I mean, as much detail as you want to give, put your seed phrase in multiple spots? So on the one hand, if you physically write,
guys, what the fuck are y'all doing sending me so much money, bro? Guys.
Wow, amazing. That's such a blessing. Distracting because it's awesome. You guys are fucking awesome, and he's definitely distracted. That's a beautiful thing. This is definitely going to be.
It's just like I forget that like I can be impactful sometimes. Like it's not really about the money, guys. Like yes, it is, but like it's just reminds me to be so happy. Like it is possible to be productive and impactful when everyone tells you that it's not possible. And nobody specifically in my life told me that I wasn't able to do anything. My family was very great and amazing, but whatever narratives I took from my youth, it was basically like only smart people can do this stuff. You go play over here. And I spent the whole last 5-6 years of my life trying to get out of that position because I wasn't educated. I was uneducated. Anyone can say whatever they want. I was uneducated. I could not write a paragraph properly. Like I don't. So getting to this point where I have actually intellectual merit and life experience that people are willing to donate to for me to continue to move forward. It's just a lot of things in my life are happening right now, this moment. Like it's wild, dude. Like you have no clue. When you listen to me, real listen to me, everyone. When you are honest 100%, and you'll know what it is because you won't even think about it anymore. And you stop doing all the things that are keeping you tied to the narrative that you need to waste all your time for the rest of your life. It's all bullshit. Stop it. You have to stop now. We got one life. We're legit going to die. Like I could die tomorrow, any day, and people want me to work all day long and tell me that everyone's treating me right and this is just the way life is. I'm fighting to the death until I'm done. I don't care. What do I need to relax for? The fuck is relaxing for? What I need to leave my statement and go die like everyone else. And I just want mine to be get your time back, do what you want, because it's the only way to actually be effective, Sam. And that's what people don't get. When they're lying, they're actually innately, they think they're becoming more productive, but they're innately becoming double down less productive.
And way less powerful. Think about what happens. So say you go through the scenario and you just play it out. So somebody tells a lie. Well, then what do you have to do? You have to at least like not bring it up again, or not say something that exposes that lie. Which, what does that do? Require mental energy and time. And what does that do? Make you less powerful in accomplishing stuff, and slows you down on the journey of life, accomplishing whatever it is that you want to accomplish, impact anything.
It doesn't slow you down. It stops you. Sam, it stops you in your tracks, because I was stopped for 21 years. There was no movement. And I'm not saying that's everyone's experience. It's not. I did not focus until I could focus on the truth. And this is why I'm such a truth seeker now. It's because once I figured out the truth for me, everything made more sense and I could finally go on, right? Once I realized that everyone was not out to help me, once I realized that nobody was out there to help me, no one was going to save me, I was going to die alone and a loser if I didn't do something about it. Then I was like, oh, okay, this makes more sense, right? Like, this makes more sense. This is the first time I felt honesty, when I was alone for the first time, right? Like, I was like, this is what it's really like. No one's coming to save you. They told, and
it's like scary, but it's powerful.
I'm gonna die. Please give it hell. Give it hell.
That's all you have. It's so much better. Like, it's like almost intimidating when you go through that period of time where you realize that. And how I view success and fulfillment is being on every moment of every day throughout every single day for the rest of my life. Because one other option is, they're like, I don't want to be fucking off. I don't want to be like singing the sidelines. I don't want to be chilling. I don't want any of that. I want to be on.
Like, you're a man. Like, what have men been doing forever? Murdering other men and taking over. That's all we were built to do. But we don't have to murder or do anything crazy like that. Business, power, man. It's just, but you can do power, right? You can achieve all of your dreams and make everyone like you at the same time. But some people
in an ethical way, you can do all that in an ethical way.
People don't think that that's possible, and that's why their businesses are absolute trash. Correct. Because they think it's one or the other.
Yes, I have videos on, because I've been putting out content for so long, that I'm talking about what you're describing from years and years ago. That, like, I'm going to show people that it is 100% possible, because we can be much more open about what we're describing right now, because this is something that is less taboo today and more of like a reality. But if you think about 10 years ago, the media describes anybody who's successful as a negative person. Right. And I have videos on YouTube describing how I'm going to change that, not only be extremely financially successful, but also living an amazing life, and without hurting or like intentionally doing things to harm people along the way. And it's 100% possible. And so many people have these crazy stories that tell themselves that are not part of reality, like, or they're part of their reality because they choose to believe them, and they choose to hold on to these beliefs that are not like suiting them in their pursuit of life's happiness and life's fulfillment, or whatever. It's definitely a good thing to bring more to the forefront on there. When we talk about the security piece, right? So is there anything else you want to?
Before we switch to the next segment, let's just say hi to a couple people. I want you to.
David looks jacked.
Hey, no, David's jacked as shit, and he's a great guy. He's all over Instagram. Hey, you guys should follow each other up, really, for sure. Follow David James on Instagram. It'll pop up because we're friends. He does like fitness challenges every morning. This dude's a fucking animal. He literally in the middle of the street, 4 a.m. doing burpees every morning. Like, he's one of those guys. He's a freaking animal, but he's motivating. He makes videos. Like, he's a cool guy. I really like what he's doing. Sam, ask Pop to do a show on doing a quick transfer with your coins into cold storage right after the airdrop. I will do that, actually. It's a great
Good idea.
That's a
Good
great idea. We'll do that live. Actually, we can do a testnet version of it. Yeah, no, this stream has been one of my favorites in about a week. I wanted some time with me and Sam to just Sam, I was realizing like that sometimes having other people, like I'm just starting to notice this, having other people kind of dilutes our mind space too, because it's like we have to like pander to what they're thinking because you want to be nice and shit. Obviously, like you don't want to be a dick. Like, so that dude had all those ideas yesterday, amazing ideas, groundbreaking new shit. But at the same time, it was like, it's hard for me because sometimes there's a lot of unknowns, and you know me with the unknowns. I don't like talking about them. I don't like mentioning them. I don't even like bringing them the fuck up. People are like, P hex is going to be this price. P hex is going to be this price. I'm like, if someone else says that one more thing, I'm going to smack someone. Because that is the most ignorant thing to think you can figure out what that is going, the ratios of that.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
There's literally a 1,000 factors.
And there could be a bug when it launches.
World War and coronavirus, which has happened like twice in the last 2 years. So like, it's like what is known in this world anymore other than hyperinflation? Known. That's definitely known. But interest rates, Sam, I'm waiting for those rates.
Oh my goodness, 8.5% inflation, dude. People are getting a 3% increase in their wage at a W-2 job. And inflation on an annual basis is 8.5. You're getting a 3% raise, and you're getting a 3x reduction in your purchasing power relative to your raise. Like you get this much raise, and your purchasing power goes down by 3x that. That's crazy. What is happening right now, guys? We're going through a crazy time.
And everyone who's older or a family member will tell you this is how it was in the 70s. This is how it was in the 90s. This is how it was in 2008. Guys, the financial system is coming to a head one way or another. Anyone in my family or friends that's watching this, I really think you should listen to this, because all the money that you have is toilet paper money. It's as useful as toilet paper because you can't take it out of your bank. It gets inflated.
And it's not even quite as useful as toilet paper because that might hurt a little bit if you crush that up to use that.
No, that's what I'm saying though. People are like, "Oh, when is the dollar going to zero?" I'm like, "Where have you been? The dollar's been at zero forever.
The dollar's down 90%, folks. 90%.
Well, I'm saying the dollar it's just a number now. It's a representation for money.
Yeah.
It is not money. There is no taking out even 0.0, the smallest 0.1% would dump the whole price to like, you know what I mean? Like, it's fake. It's imaginary. You've been lied to. Whoops. It's a whoopsie, but it's okay. Guess why? Because we're telling you literally right here how to change your life forever. And I'm going to tell you not only how to change your life forever, but why. And what security practices can you put in right now in order to never have to deal with the stress that I have dealt with in the last 2 months?
That was probably extremely stressful. So Bradley might be being facetious here, but maybe not, because this could be a question that I would have asked, right? Like, what does it mean when someone says cold storage, right?
I think it's more of just a general term, right? Like,
because you're not actually it's not, people think of there's a misunderstanding when it says
it's cold storage for your seed phrase.
Correct, but that's not how anybody actually correct.
So guys, for everyone in here who doesn't know, a hardware wallet is something that you use and interact with that holds the keys to your wallet. So imagine, in order for you to get in your wallet, you needed to go with like a metal key or something. So you have a crypto wallet, there's a little key on it. That's what that is. You plug it in and it allows access. That is where your seed phrases are holding. It's not magic. It doesn't cure AIDS. If someone comes in your house and punches you in the face and steal it, they're going to steal all your money. So, but it's not like it's just as value as a piece of paper, other than the fact that you need the transaction. You need it plugged in to do a transaction. Yeah. And
it does not hold your money.
It holds no crypto. There's no crypto in this whole world that's on a hard drive. You heard
that's a giant misconception. I know I've literally probably said it on here multiple times in terms of the storage of the crypto, like move the storage of the crypto from Coinbase to your MetaMask, and you're not actually moving the crypto. What your crypto is still in the cloud effectively. What you're moving is the ability to access that through your seed phrase to cold storage. So what do you think about cold storage as in like a hardware wallet versus cold storage as in a fucking piece of paper or etched
I
into
think it's
something?
very similar, but people don't want to mention how similar it is, because this is where it gets people use the, correct me if I'm wrong, Bob. Only Bob, not all you, but only Bob, correct me. Because Bob's my specialist for security. Anyway, one more time on that question. Sorry.
Bradley, I was reading another question from Bradley here, Lincoln.
So what do you think? Oh yeah, one time on your question, then we'll go to that.
So in terms of we were talking about cold storage, as in, what's the point in spending $100 on a piece of hardware that holds your shit versus literally just taking out a piece of paper and fucking writing that shit down?
You need to plug it into your computer to do transactions. So there isn't a
Well,
you know those things that I click on sometimes that might not occur.
Well, it's not going to occur either if you just write it on a piece of paper.
Well, no, but they could, if you have your MetaMask open on your.
But so I don't know if it was Bob or somebody else who mentioned this. Not that Bob, or wait, maybe John is what I'm thinking, or somebody mentioned it, or somebody messaged me or something. Was just saying after you do the transaction, uninstall. We were talking about this with John, maybe.
Oh, I listened to that advice 100%. I wrote that down. That was alpha. Make alpha.
So when you what we were just talking about, right? So you have your cold storage and your paper storage, same fucking thing. I don't see a difference. Maybe
for you.
I don't. What's the difference?
And you're right. For you, you're so right.
But how is it different from somebody else?
Because there's a couple mistakes that people that are super naive can avoid.
Okay, wait. Question on that though. So the naive thing. Remember that point. So on paper storage versus a treasure, whatever you want to call it, ledger, it doesn't matter. Is there an added level of security in the sense that, okay, I've uninstalled MetaMask, so you don't just log out of MetaMask, uninstall it so that when you get back into, you have to put seed phrases in again, so your shit is not in there. But now you have it on a treasure. You have to plug that shit into the computer. Does the computer see the words, or is there a way that it is encrypted?
There's a way to never write them, or it only generates on the thingy.
Like, is there a way so that it can't be stored?
There's a screen on the thing. So there's a screen on your little treasure, and it shows you this phrase on there. And you write it down, and then you repeat it.
And so on your treasure, don't you plug it in and then connect it with the thing on the computer?
Well, yeah, but the treasure is like a separate thing. You have to set it up and shit. So like when you get it, it's like you got to set up a seed phrase. You got to do all this shit. You got to open Ledger Live. You got to make an account, and then it's like you have to re-click in because there's buttons on the thing. It does it in the most secure way possible. So it does it so you don't have to type your keys in. You never are typing. There's no typing. That's
so it's more secure than paper.
Yeah, it's like buttons on the thing. It's just beep, 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 beep. Like you just have to move shit instead of actually typing it in. It just gives you the option to adjust.
Because then you can track. Because who knows? Maybe that's how the person got your word.
And there's a password on your ledger, and there is so there's a password, like an actual word password that you make just to open it up and then use it. But you can add those or subtract those as you wish.
Cool. Another piece from a security standpoint, but more on the edge of security. So in terms of safes, there's a locksmith that's been around here for 60 years, like close to where I'm at. And I went in and talked to him about installing a safe, like a rectangular safe, say in a wall or something like that, or a cylindrical safe. And the cylindrical safes are actually safer and more challenging to break into than square safes. I found that tidbit of information interesting. That anybody who is looking to put in a safe.
Square ones have more pressure on each corner, probably easier to pop. Thank you so much, Hex Squid. I appreciate you guys. Everyone in the comments, anyone who's in the comments wants to say hi. Does Sam have a hardware wallet yet? No, and he might not get one, depending on. And to be honest, I'll say another controversial thing, because on this show, guys, you have to do your own research. I'm not a boss. I'm not your boss. I'm not even an authority at all in this shit. I'm just learning at a fast pace, faster than you guys, because I'm more motivated, to be honest. And that's the only reason. But like, you don't really need a hardware wallet. But Sam, just you have to confirm that this sentence that I'm saying makes sense to you. But the nuance, understanding of plebs, there is things that it helps you avoid. Sam, you are not a pleb, so you are learning and doing things detail oriented the first time. You know, imagine me when I first hit you up, that kid with the wallet. That's the kid you are trying not to get hacked. It's not you, Sam. You are past that point in your life. You've already taken those L's about other shit. You know what I mean? Like, you've taken the security L's. You've probably like, dude, I got
I've lost it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a $40,000 investment that I made last
To the
year.
point where you're like, anyone says anything, like you're defensive now, right? Like, you know that intuitively. I had no defensiveness inside of me. I was loose as a goose. I was like, everyone's good. This is all happy. Look at all these hexagons. I read Richard's self-help book. I don't really know about crypto yet. And then everyone's like, stake that shit 555 if you don't have a lot. I was like, damn right. Staked all my shit now. Those stakes were money, by the way. Beautiful T-share, beautiful chart. I mean, and
that's 20,000 today. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah. We don't need to talk about that because that's path you don't need to go down where that would be 10 years. Anyway, okay. So Bradley asks another question. Bradley Lincoln. So what do you say cold storage? You mean it's on a piece of paper or hardware?
No, cold storage means hardware wallet. Cold storage means hardware wallet. I think I don't
for most people, right? Because it depends on
no, this is what cold storage means. The actual definition of cold storage. A hardware wallet can be seen as cold storage. Cold storage just means something that is in physical form.
Yes.
It's really like lukewarm storage. True cold storage is an address not generated on general purpose computer that you almost never load up to send from. Yeah, guys, let's move on from that. If you want to, using a Trezor is not difficult. Using a Nano is not difficult. Having a separate computer that you do this on is my goal for everyone. That's my goal. If you don't have the money to do it, I totally get it. Fuck it. You don't really need it right away. But if you are someone who's like me and you are I have business opportunities galore, money, shit like this could happen any moment. I need to be ready for my security to be tight.
So let's talk about it from the beginning standpoint, right? So they've got a computer and they have a phone and they don't really use their computer. Most people probably don't use their computer unless you consider this the computer, right? They use their phone for everything. So how could somebody do that in the most secure way? They're like, hey, bro, I'm getting into Hex. I'm going to put in $1,000 to Hex. And so what they could do is set that and just, I'm going to play this out and you'll be like, hey, let's change this, right? Okay. So I'll be like, hey, their buddy's going to put in $1,000, right? Whatever that number is. I'm like, cool. Go to Coinbase, set up your account. And like, I'm saying this because literally I have two buddies who are in the process of setting up Coinbase. It takes a couple of days for them to confirm their bank account or something ridiculous. So they're in the process. So they're setting up their Coinbase. Then he's not going to, have a dedicated device, right? So he's going to put it onto a MetaMask on his phone. And once he does that and transfers the seed phrases, the access to the seed phrases from Coinbase to his phone, then he can go to Dex, Uniswap and get his Hex, and then go to Hex to actually set it up. Once he's all said and done, and it's got it staked for whatever he feels is appropriate for himself, then go through and uninstall MetaMask from his phone. You think that's the safest way to go through and approach that for somebody that's new, that's not going to spend $100 on $1,000 to invest it?
I think.
Or buy a $300.
I wouldn't recommend that. I would just say the dude's a pleb and he shouldn't invest yet. He's not ready, in my opinion, because you can get a Raspberry Pi and a Trezor for $200, like Bullish said. You don't even know about Raspberry Pis yet, do you?
I've heard about them, but I don't pay attention.
Just little boards, basically, like as simple as a computer could get. And you just store your shit on there, plug the shit in, and it's just like that is what that is for. That's it. Like,
but you're talking about things that's going to scare off 99.9999999.
well, 99.99999% of people are fucking scared off by the time you say one thing they got to learn from. So it's kind of like either people are in here learning or they're just fucking breezing ass anyway. But I'm saying, like, I want Raspberry Pi. Like, that is my goal. That's what I'm doing. Certainly, I'm going to figure that out.
So first of all, in that example, and then let's talk about Raspberry Pi. So literally, my buddy's going to do that. Basically, how I just described that. How could he do something like that in a more secure way? John McCaffrey and I agree. A hardware wallet is far more important than dedicated laptops. Both are good, but the hardware wallet gets you more security and peace of mind than a dedicated computer.
But again, Bob, you're talking about I was talking to Sam when he made that. But yes, when you're talking to the general population, I would say that is for sure. But when I'm being really detailed with Sam about himself, I always have to remind Sam, like, you're freaking weird. Like, I got to remind him. He's like, shit, you're right. People don't even want to learn about that. He's like, I want to learn about it all the time. So I'm like, Sam, when I'm talking to Sam, if Sam had a piece of paper and a computer, I would trust him 100% with his money. I'd probably say he'll never lose it because he would know too. When he's at the gym, he's not like, oh, my papers are all around the whole place. Like, it's not I assume that's not the way your life is.
Correct.
Yeah.
So with that example, how would you approach that in a more secure manner? You want them to be a part of something that you believe is good. You also know that they're not going to spend $300 to buy something that if they don't agree with in 6 months, they're not going to do, or they're just not going to spend $300 for $1,000 transaction. Like, that's a 30%. No, I did not.
That was me. I guess it doubles up. It's fine. I'll deal with it later.
That's weird how it does that.
Yeah, sorry. So many distractions.
Raspberry Pi. Yeah, it looks like I'm ready.
Read the comment for 1 second, would you? I just have to use the bathroom.
Yeah. Somebody says buy a treasure. Yes. But like, okay, so what do you guys think of that example I was just saying? My buddy, he'll probably put in 1,000 or a couple grand or something, and he'll go through the process. He'll probably start with 1,000, I would assume, but he's not going to buy a separate device. He's not going to buy a hardware wallet.
So he's going to use his regular laptop.
His regular laptop and or his phone.
Well, just tell him get Staker app if it's his phone, 100%. You got to use Staker app if it's your phone, and he wants hacked.
Why Staker app over MetaMask? Because I'm not sold on Staker app.
Yeah, I know, but
no. Like, so tell me, so I can be like, hey, here's
I know what you're asking. So security, right, is kind of what I'm going for at this point. Like, I want the money to be like legit, and all I know is if you're on your phone and you go off of MetaMask, the problem is, Sam, this is a problem right here. This is a real problem. So listen to this. When you go from your phone to your laptop, but you have to re-upload your seed phrase, you have to type it in. That is where it happens, right there. So when you actually, it's fine.
Okay, good.
Phone to computer, but the actual switch, when you do it on MetaMask, you have to physically type in your shit.
Okay, no, yeah, I believe you're right, unless you have like a treasure, as people were saying. Or like
and once you type it in, technically that's compromised.
Okay, so dude, $1,000. Okay, when you do get it loaded $1,000 into your Coinbase, whenever that happens in the next day or 2 days or 3 days or whatever, transfer it, but set up the MetaMask on a laptop and don't do it on your phone.
100%.
Okay, cool.
That is the way you should do it if you're doing that method. But guys, if you're new, if you have no idea what you're doing, if you're completely just like, what are we talking about? Get a Trezor or get a Ledger, go to Hex Security, Telegram, ask them any question you want, come into the spaces in the morning, ask me any questions you want, come on these shows, ask any questions you want. But yes, the best way to do that would be to get a separate laptop, clear it. First of all, clear the whole thing. And then, yes, download MetaMask and send it from Coinbase to that laptop.
Okay, and then then he'll use his laptop to do from Coinbase to this, and I'll be like, okay, bro, you don't use that laptop for.
And the Hedron thing, this guy's saying, didn't everyone type it in when they claimed their Hedron? If they did, that sucks. No, he's talking about the Staker app. Ooh.
I don't know anything about the Staker app. I don't use Staker app.
No, but I
I've
know,
never
but
downloaded
so
it.
people have hex stakes on Staker app, right?
Okay.
You know that. And
Yep.
guess what? They had trouble minting their Hedron because the system was different than the MetaMask system. For some reason they had to type in their shit. Which is like, what? Like, you didn't sign up for that, did you? I didn't sign up for that.
I wasn't sold on when the Staker app, when we were talking to
There is a
Hexalon.
Staker app V2, so we're not shit talking fucking Staker app. I won't do it, but I want to look.
No, I would love to understand it more than I
Me
do.
too. That's exactly what I'm saying. I want to be way more involved in it because I kind of like some of the shit they do. I don't like that there's only one.
Because I'm not going to do it if I don't do it right now. But go ahead, continue talking.
What?
I just got this. I just downloaded it, so it's downloading Staker app. I'm not going to use it for any
I've
live
seen
crypto
what
wallet
Texas
stuff.
Mexican and Bob are kind of arguing about. Again, Bob's an analytical fucking dude. And Bob, I'm telling you, I'm not. And Texas Mexican is right a little bit. Like,
so we'll talk about to the points.
Don't care what they wipe their ass with, dude. So what do you're gonna set them up, but really all you're doing, Bob, is setting them up to fail anyway because they're not smart enough to figure this shit out on their own.
This comment is correct. That last comment is correct. Onboarding noobs with a hardware wallet, it's way too much for them. Way too much.
Yeah, and I know a lot of these guys are analytical. They've been working jobs. They're smart.
They're 10 steps in and not looking at what it was like.
But we know gym rat douchebags, and we know how they think. They don't think. There's no thinking. There's no setup. So basically what I'm trying to say is the buy wall for me to onboard someone is them giving a fuck. If someone doesn't give a fuck, I will never try to onboard them. I'm not going to convince them to give a fuck. If I am coming to you with financial advice and you don't want to listen, then fuck off. Who cares?
And remember, this is not financial advice, but just hypothetically speaking, as we were talking about.
Yeah, it's legitimately financial direct.
Because what happened in Australia, I see happening here, and I just wanted to put that out.
Well, why not? Just let it happen, and we'll move quicker.
but the channel goes away potentially, right? Like what happened with Tangent, because the laws are changing over there, and they're saying
I'm retired from my super chats today anyway, so or just set it up for them and send them their crypto. That's the thing, cryptographics. Like, how much time you got? You're a busy ass mother effer. Like, how many grown ass asses do I have to wipe before someone wipes it themselves? Like, I tell my brother, I tell my parents, I tell my friends, crypto is the future, and they tell me I'm stupid. Like, it's just like, I'm not saying that they're wrong. They could be right. Just saying, like, if somebody doesn't want to hear a message, just stop saying it. It's no big deal. I don't hate my brother because he doesn't like crypto. If he wants help with it, he just asks me. But like, I'm not going to be like, yo, bro, like, Hex is the best way to do it. Like,
so how people generally kind of like evolve, because that's what we're talking about, the evolution of the security, the evolution of the process of somebody getting into crypto, right? They're going to get in like retiring bullish. They're going to get into it however is the simplest path. Like anybody in life is going to take 99.999% of people are just going to take the simplest route. Whether that's the best route or not, they're going to take the simplest route to get there. And when somebody gets into crypto, they're going to do the easiest thing. This is why there's so much money being held, Coinbase, because that's the simplest thing to do, right? So the next step, that's like the simplest way to get into crypto, buy it in Coinbase and leave it there. Right? You're like, oh, that's a horrible thing to do. Cool. We understand that you don't actually own your crypto. But you got to take step 1 to get to step 2. And people talk about step 14 when we need to get to step 2 after Coinbase, right? And when you look at the evolution of step 3, step 4, et cetera, along that process, it's not just going to have one that's compromised or a hardware wallet or another computer. The thing about security is going to be different for everybody, because just like your success is different than my success, and it should be because we have different goals. The same thing happens with security, because everybody's security is different. They're going to have multiple different wallets, where some wallets are like super tight, right? Like that's real tight, right? Where other ones are going to be looser than somebody's butthole in jail, right? Like they're just wide open that anybody could almost get access to them if they were really trying to. And the evolution or those steps, the journey that people are on is cumbersome, to say the least, for somebody who like me, who pays attention to it more than like the average dude or person who, like people that I talk to in the gym about it, they don't have any fucking clue of what to do. And bringing these conversations to the light, talking about them more is extremely valuable, because there's stuff that people just don't know, and then they think they need to do this thing and not realizing it.
I will do this to my deathbed, not make sure people got wrecked like I did. I swear to God I will, because I don't give a fuck about doing anything else anymore. This is way more fun anyway.
Hex Orca says, if they spend the $300 for their crypto, I just tell them to not share their seed phrase, delete the MetaMask extension when not in use, avoid sketchy sites, right? Like, I think like that's super practical. Like, what's the most practical thing to do? Put your fucking $300 in here, get it staked if you choose to do that.
This is the way right here. This whole conversation we had ends right here. Bob nailed it. A good balance between these ideas is probably onboarding with MetaMask, but coach them into a hardware wallet before they stake. I would agree with that. Once you stake, smart contract, 15 years locked in. Because guys, another red pill hex truth, you guys forget to tell people what a smart contract is before they stake all their shit. So they can't, I didn't know what a smart contract was before everyone was saying 555 is the way to fucking go. And I'm not saying that's anyone's fault but my own, but now that I'm trying to do this, I'm, re-engineering the way I think about it, Sam. And I'm just thinking, I want people to know, what's up, Luke DuBois? Appreciate you coming through. Nice hair, brother.
Yeah, hair is dope. Hair is on fire. Somebody asked, Danny Bonnie asked a question about this. So why they don't freeze this address account? I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it doesn't really make sense to me. Can you freeze? It's an address. You can't freeze addresses.
If someone has your seed phrases, they own your shit.
Yeah.
Unless you're on Polygon, and then they'll freeze the whole bitch and then fucking turn it off. AVAX, whatever, they'll turn the shit off. You're not your keys, not your coins, guys. Somebody can turn off the website, then it's not your money, by the way. But yeah, so the principle is, guys, as far as all of that stuff, please be smart. Be smart. You have to focus. If you're not in a position in your life where you can sit down and focus, and I have friends just like it, they won't focus. They ask me, Scott, can you tell me how to sacrifice? Scott, can you tell me how to do this? Scott. And I'm just like, dude, you're not ready.
Well, I think what I'm also I just created it yesterday, like a Telegram, and you have a Telegram, and we're like, because some of these things, like, yes, it's cool because you and I get to have a dialogue here, and then we get to have some dialogue with the comments here. But having it in a more intimate setting sometimes makes it feel like you can see. I don't care if people think I ask stupid questions
about Twitter Spaces yet, dude. You haven't gotten addicted to Twitter Spaces yet. That's what we do at night, dude. We just talk about security, and we talk about conspiracy theories and security. That's it.
So, what about the smart contracts? You were talking about smart contracts. So what would you have liked to know about a smart contract before you got in that you know now that you did not know back
then? What it was and what a fucking everything was, but like you can't know that in the beginning. It's just you don't have enough insight. Sam, you keep lagging. I just want you to. I'm gonna pop you down real quick for a second and pop you back. It could be me. I'm just making sure, but my stuff looks fine on mine.
Yours is blurry on mine, but.
Yeah, I have a feeling you might be lagging a hair on your end. But if anyone could, who's lagging, me or Sam? We need to get Sam in a Twitter space. Yeah. So Sam, this is what we'll do. I'll teach you about Twitter spaces. I started doing a Twitter space 4 a.m. So I do 4 a.m. to roughly the time of the show. So if you ever hop in there, we'll be chit chatting about any question you have. But it's mainly about onboarding. I switched the name from Hex to Crypto, so actually other people would join. And guys, I did the same thing on the show, by the way. I switched it to Crypto in the morning because Dude, I'm sorry, but the algorithm won't pick up hex because everyone thinks it's a fucking scam.
That's
Sam,
a,
I want you to back out and come back if you don't mind.
yeah, let me try that real quick.
Just because. Hey, can anyone let me know if it was me lagging? I'm pretty sure it wasn't. My internet says it's good. Here he comes. And real quick, guys, while I got you, please, really quick, I'm gonna pop a link down below. Ugh, dude, another hacker, dude, another dude that's fucking stealing my name on Instagram with another different underscore. So silly, dude. Guys, sometimes I swear to God, this world makes it very difficult for you to think. It's like even when you do everything right, there's still. Oh,
It doesn't.
sorry.
It's no, you're good. It does. Don't like concern yourself with that. Just highlight. It is what it is. I get into Twitter, not.
But they're DMing my friends and ripping them off. It's so hard to not think about, dude. And they legit think
there's
it's me.
so how do you solve that problem? You can't do anything about scumbags. All
You
you
just
could
get people to mass report it.
but you just live the best life you can by educating and impacting the most people about security, about the things that you've learned. What I wish I had known that I didn't know when I remember 60 days roughly in this kind of like ecosystem, understanding crypto to a greater degree, is I wish I had known that you couldn't move a stake off of a wallet. I was not aware of that.
Hex is kind of new for that, you know.
Pardon?
Hex is kind of like cutting edge on that too. Like it's
Yeah,
kind of the first time.
But that would have been nice to know that. That would have been nice to know that before I say.
But I mean, then there's that gray area where it's like everyone kind of stakes before they, you could throw a little money around without being 100%. But
but because it's something that I appreciate, I'm like, oh, I can't do this. Like my buddy, hey man, just so you're aware, once you do this, you cannot move it off of this wallet. Like that, because it's something. Because then if they get into crypto and then they continue to use that wallet for other things, then that wallet could be compromised, right? So by letting them know up front, hey, once this is done, you kind of just take that and fucking toss it to the side and remember everything where it is. If you have a hardware wallet in terms of a ledger or treasure, like put it aside so you have it. But like you create a new wallet, like that one's done. You already created that like rabbit hole. Now leave that rabbit hole alone for the duration of your stake. Period. You know what I mean? Which I just wasn't aware of it.
Should be done. That's the way it should be done, but people aren't necessarily know that right away. Because there is a lot of game theory too. How much game theory can you teach people? Really, like nobody has all the time in the world, and we all are doing this for free. So it's like if someone fucks up, it's kind of on them. Nobody's paying me to deliver information. I'm doing it because I want to, but at the same time, I am just a truth-seeking missile, and I just literally can't do anything else. And when people always say you have such good discipline, Sam, and you're like, I don't know how not to. Literally.
Yes, somebody was saying that yesterday. Yeah.
And literally, everyone says that to me every single day of my life. Like, how are you so disciplined? And I'm like, how are you so not? I would be devastated.
Discipline is freedom.
I would be devastated if I switched into a mind that was addicted to video games and porn.
But I bet I
could reverse it in a month, but it would be stressful.
But I bet right now, even though the perception from the external person's point of view is that, damn, this dude's fucking disciplined, right? Because that's the same thing. Like I'm talking to some dude at the gym yesterday because he's asking me questions, and he's talking about the discipline. And he sees discipline, and I see opportunity. It's like, fuck, I have so much opportunity to increase the discipline that I have in my life, and yet the level of discipline I have now is perceptional. It's people are able to perceive that without from the external, without even being able to see. Sometimes just the way you carry yourself or the way that you talk, people can see that there's discipline there in some.
Yeah, they don't even have to look at your life, really. They could probably know in 3 or 4 minutes that, because I'm never wandering around either. Like there's no wandering. It's like whenever I'm doing something, there's like exactly something I want to be doing. Even if it's a walk, it's like I've decided to take a walk.
Mhm.
It's not like
Mhm.
today I'm going outside because I don't know what the fuck to do with my life. Like it's like, and that's what early life is, right? Like you're kind of wandering, right? You're just wandering, and then you guys, once you get a light under your ass, never let it go out because it's way easier that way. Because depression is real. People can go in ruts. Sam knows it. I know it. Everyone knows it. And I have my friend Texas Hexagon on. I want him to come in the chat and interject a few points and see if he has anything he'd like to mention as far as some of the things we're saying. Have some interjection. This is a guy that's in the Twitter spaces with me. Well, I guess like lately we've been chit chatting quite a bit in the Twitter spaces, and his perspective on stuff. I can't really think about some of the stuff he talks about at this moment, but like I always am just his perspective is like very open, family man, good guy, and let's jump in.
What's up, guys?
Dude, what's up?
Texas, what's up? How is Texas,
What's going on,
brother?
man? Texas is good. Yeah, a little rain this morning. Nice weather. Things are good.
You guys are implementing some intelligent legislation down there. Well, I mean, intelligent for like a government perspective.
Well, we like our Second Amendment down here. That's for sure.
Yes.
I want to ask you a couple of things while we're on topic before I totally forget.
Go ahead.
As far as what we've been talking about this morning, is there any points, any things you see, any things you've noticed? Because you're very open-minded too. You're not so much like, oh, I'm live or die by Hex, but you're like, I really love this stuff, right? You're like me. I'm like, I just love this stuff. I think it's really cool. I think it's really awesome what Richard's doing. But as I move further into this process, I realize that the incentives that everyone has are the reasons that they say the things they say. So it's like you're almost navigating the space. And when we're talking about scams and stuff, as far as what people know about crypto when they get onboarded, anything like that, what do you think? Like, what do you think about the way that Hexicans go about onboarding and maybe some things that could, any kind of opinion on that?
Yeah, that's great. It's a loaded question. I mean, look, I got in 2014. Rode Bitcoin, rode Ethereum, invested heavily in XRP. Like just like and if I look back on it, right, and I summarize like it's 8 years of getting wrecked over and over and over, which is on one hand great because I didn't really have to pay taxes on anything. Matter of fact, I was writing off losses most of the time when I started reporting. But I think where we are now. I saw a statistic the other day. I looked this up. It's like 1.2 billion in gas fees last month in Ethereum alone. 1.2 billion. Like,
that's exchange volume per day. So
yeah,
it's like about 1/30 of the daily exchange volume.
Yeah, and so we're staring at a future that solves all of this stuff. Richard Hart has created something that is vertically integrated with Hex and pulsechain and pulsex, and I think have some other decent projects that are coming around this. I don't think all of them are decent. You have to do your research, but in terms of fundamentals, it's a great time, and it's I've been looking for the last 2 or 3 years for like what is going to be that like ground floor entry level that I'm going to go all in on. And when I first started looking at Richard and I got into Hex, I was timid. I was reading all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And it took 6 to 8 months to really get through that. And as I've onboarded people, that's the first thing that they come back to me with is like, they bring me all these articles and all these things, talking about Richard and the scam and just like scam. Like, look, at the end of the day, you've got to look at the fundamentals and understand the contract. And if you don't know what those contracts are and you don't get into like really understanding the fundamentals and how finance works and how banking works, like that's one of the things that really hit me is like how much I didn't know about global finance. So I started reading guys like Ray Dalio, big hedge fund dude out in California, right? Has got a lots of books out. One called Principles, the other one, The Changing World Economy, he just sent out, which is a fascinating and scary read.
Your camera's incredible, by the way.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah.
Looks
I
great.
Here's
use this.
the story you're mentioning is
Yeah.
actually very interesting.
Yeah, no, it's great. Everyone's happy about what you guys are saying. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'll get into that later. But yeah, so like I started, everything was on an exchange. Never got hacked on an exchange, thank God. Got myself into a lot of scams though.
Just when you say scam, as in like scam coin type thing, and you just get like pulled type thing.
No, like watching Twitter one day, being really tired, having just woken up, and somebody saying, we're airdropping free XRP. So send us, this many XRP and we'll double it and send it right back to you. And stupid. I mean, stupid. I would never, ever, ever fall for that now. But knowing that I did then with all the information and knowledge that I had, and I knew I was sitting there with my hardware wallet on my phone, Ledger, not Trezor. And I'm sitting there and I've got 40,000 XRP sitting there. And I'm like, do I do 4,000 or do I do 40,000? I'm like, fuck it, man. Let's gamble this all. Like, it was cheap. And I hit the buttons. And of course, what happened? Nothing came out.
No,
dude,
I
was because then you're thinking about, then you go into the mind games, right? The fucking head games where you're like, oh, fucking future value. Like this was like, 14 cents at the time. Well, of course it went up to 70 or 80. That would have been great. But like, everybody's talking about XRP going to the moon and shit. And I'm like, I was so depressed. I mean, depressed for months. And it took a long time to get over that. The lesson in that is like, you don't ever do that. And what concerns me today is like, I see a lot of these, now that Richard has created this, idea of like sacrifice, I see all of these other projects now that are sacrificing. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and they're all starting to hate my ass too.
I don't. It's the next thing. I mean, what an opportunity! It just makes the rug pull so much easier. And if I would never have done it if it wasn't for such an audacious project like pulsechain. The whole idea of forking the entire system state of Ethereum, like I probably wouldn't have done it otherwise. And so like be fucking careful and goes back to the fundamentals. Don't ever risk more than you're willing to lose. I mean, that's like rule number one, right? Not your keys, not your crypto. That's great. I mean, and we were arguing earlier in your chat about like how you get started. And for me, like it is easiest to onboard when it's simple. Look, go to Coinbase, add an account, wait 10 days, get your stuff, move it out and get it into MetaMask and then go. Like you can build on all of that successively over time, but it's all about your risk exposure. Go ahead, Sam.
I had a question for you. So I've got a buddy. He's in the process of setting up his Coinbase account. Probably going to put in $1,000, right? And so I'm just going to have him. And I was just talking to GRC, and he was like, "Okay, instead of using your phone, have him use his laptop to actually set up his MetaMask to get his keys from Coinbase, right? Mm-hmm. Okay." And then go through the process of setting that up, right? Going to a DEX and exchanging it, and then going to Hex and actually staking that. And then just uninstalling that shit from the computer in terms of MetaMask uninstalling from the browser. Is there anything on there where you were like, hey, make sure to mention this. Hey, maybe you would want to think about this because this could help. Is there anything on there where that might be something that I'm missing or not mentioning, or you know what I mean? What are your thoughts on that sequence to onboard somebody?
I mean, in terms of like MetaMask, we were talking about this morning in the Twitter space, right? It's like I think JP Morgan Chase now has a stake in MetaMask, so like there's that. But I mean, no, I mean you set up MetaMask, you get your seed phrase. I think it's important that you write that down. You don't ever copy it and paste it into a notepad or paste it onto your desktop or paste it into a file or stick it in Dropbox or anything that's ever going to go to the cloud, because it's so easy. If you get attacked or you get infiltrated and somebody has access to your system, they're going to have access to everything, and it's easy for them to scan through. I mean, it's a signature. It's easy to know what 24 words are. Somebody sees 24 words, that's a bit, right? So you got to write it down
What
on
about
paper. You got to
25
put it in a
words?
safe. Is it
Makes the ledger
25,
name now.
24? What, yeah, yeah.
Well, that's the
Um,
reason that Mr. McCoy likes Ledger rather than Trezor, is because they have that 25th word. That 25th word is their claim to fame as an extra bonus security measure. So that's
What do
that
you-
25th word.
What are your thoughts
That's
on that?
I have looked at Trezor. There are two things that have kept me from using it. I've always stuck with Ledger. I started with Ledger. It's fairly easy to use. I like the app. It's a good way to manage the device and add wallets and manage it. And I've got, probably 4 different ledgers here. I've got some that are just backups and that are spares. So if one craps out, I can just go grab another one and restore it. But I like the fact that it doesn't have this intermediary bridge. And I do a lot in Linux. And so like most of my stuff, if you guys saw me typing earlier, like Cubes OS, I use Cubes OS. I read a lot about like getting Trezor and MetaMask to work, or not MetaMask, but Ledger to work in these, containered environments that are, very, very secure. They're disposable. So you can click on a link in a disposable VM and it can't access anything else. It partitions everything, isolates it so that you can do something that potentially may be risky that you want to check out or you want to research something, and it has no access to something that's in a higher security level. Worth checking out. But those sorts of things, like I'm looking for interoperability, and this Trezor bridge and the software that you have to interface and go back and forth. It seems like an additional attack vector to me. I want something that is just going to plug in and that I don't need to have an intermediary software layer. I can just interact natively.
Can you explain that? But like somebody who I don't have a hardware wallet. I just have my shit written down on paper. So and also explain adding wallets to your ledger. So that was the question.
So
Sam,
right in
you don't
Ledger
say
you
that
can
out loud,
import,
just for
right? So
reference.
if
What's
you
up?
have a hardware,
Don't say it out loud. What you do with your stuff.
yeah, if you have a hardware device, you can import that device, and it doesn't. You don't have to. When you import it into Ledger, you're not using your seed phrase. It's actually attaching to the device, and the beautiful thing about that is that you can still use Ledger to interact. But let's say that you clicked on something and it was a contract and it tried to authorize something in Ledger. There are hacks now where if you click that button and you say authorize, you just gave the contract access to your Ledger. You don't have to do anything else. It can actually take your shit and go. And so that's counterparty risk, right? Well, if you have everything backed by the hardware has to be plugged in. And when Ledger goes to do anything, you've got to sign it from the hardware device. So it's an extra step that makes you like, okay, think, is this really something that I want to do? Do I trust this? Do I know what I'm doing?
Does it slow people down from clicking on dumb shit though? Because people are still going to click on dumb shit, right?
No, people are going to click on dumb shit, but then you're air gapped, right? If you click on dumb shit and the hardware device is not connected to your system, Ledger has no access to do anything because it can't sign.
So, question on that. So, if you were like clicking on, you're just doing like you said, you're like researching, looking around, right? And you click on something on that computer. Are you using a completely different device every time you? So, like maybe this computer I'll use for research, and another computer I'll use for transactions. Is that how you're doing that? So, like I'm doing the research on here, and then maybe I use something. Okay, this is the site, and I'll send it over to that computer, and I'll like just check like email for a specific email on that one to pull up anything that I want to click to.
The beautiful thing about cubes is it's kind of like Docker. So you spin up a Linux environment that's a GNOME desktop environment. You can run Red Hat, you can run Fedora, you can run Ubuntu. It doesn't really matter. You can run Unix, and Unix has built-in Tor. The beautiful thing about this is these are all just
you're talking.
these are just,
You're talking here. I'm sorry, GRC.
so
myself,
it's
and
like
then-
on one
Yeah, no,
laptop.
yeah, no,
On
Ronnie,
one
yeah,
laptop,
yeah.
let me explain it this way. On one laptop, I have an infinite number of isolated computers. It's like having a physical computer that I can go from here to here to here, and I don't have to worry about one computer getting cross-contaminated with anything from another computer.
I
So
totally get what you're saying. You're just not
Oh, that's
connected.
awesome.
you're isolating workspaces like a desktop, but instead of a desktop, it's the entire operating system.
Help your
And it's
boy out.
completely
Is that
isolated.
Is that like something where clearly you know what you're talking about, and the vernacular is like stuff that like I was like, okay, cool. These are all new
Real
words. to my
quick,
vocabulary.
Sam, do you think we're getting super technical? I want you to write any of these questions down. I got cryptographics underneath us too. I want to invite them on. And I know you'll just ask this dude questions until life is over. So like I'm gonna do a little bit of a transition because I am a production master.
There you go.
We gotta add music to this one. There should be a toilet flushing.
Is there no music on this one? Fine. Yo.
What's up, gang? What's up, guys?
Dude,
There he is.
dude. Literally one of the craziest brothers in the system. How are you doing, dude? I knew you'd like this combo.
Yeah, this is great. I am good. I missed the last part about what you're talking about there, Texas Hexagon, with isolating the operating system, but I've been loving it, especially the passion. Unfortunately,
for in your operating systems, you could go all day. I'm like, I got to make sure we got guys, and the only reason I don't like, obviously in the spaces talking about stuff like that is way awesome, but when you're on a live stream, it's just like gets lost in translation so quick. When you say one thing and then everyone's like, because I know how I used to be, I'd be like, man, no longer know what they're talking about. Like,
that's why I interrupted, because I was like, hey man, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
When we're getting that far down a rabbit hole, Texas is in the Twitter spaces too all the time, and like because I get feedback on my streams, so like I can kind of tell like where some points go. I want to open up the floor again and kind of go back to some of the stuff in the scammy kind of world. So I had a few questions for the two below, and then we can talk about it. And Sam, if you want to, Richard Hart tweeted earlier or last night perhaps about XRP, right? No. He tweeted about SafeMoon. So he tweeted about SafeMoon and said how it copied another coin that was already a Ponzi scheme, and it got flattened, and how it was an exact copy. And I was just wondering if you guys knew anything about that, had any experience with SafeMoon, as far as I don't know what SafeMoon really is. But all I know is Dave Portnoy. We'll pull up Dave Portnoy's video of him crying about it because he
It's
got
funny
absolutely wrecked on SafeMoon, dude. He got wrapped.
So
I saw the
SafeMoon
link. I
was
didn't
a
watch the
scam?
video though.
It's
No,
like my
but like-
XRP experience, man. It's like from everything to nothing, like overnight.
I'll show you. It's not a scam like by technical definition. It's probably more of like a Ponzi scheme. But like they're trying to make everyone like switch over to this other system, and Dave's like, wait, what? Like what the fuck is going? Because basically they're probably going. Yeah.
You need to upgrade. That's your solution.
Because there's an issue with it, so they're trying to push everybody just to another system.
Probably.
Or something.
Well, I think they forked it, right? And so they incentivized him through, I think, email and pressure and a letter from their marketing to click the upgrade button. And when he did that, he went from like $4,000 to like $100 in value.
Pretty sure I saw the chart for that new one too, and it's like the exact same shape as the previous moon. Worse.
less liquidity, less value. Like, we forked the coin. It's a new coin essentially. So you're fucked.
It's a cup.
I am thankful that this is my entrance into crypto, into like Hex and pulsechain. Like, I'm really thankful that I did not get into one of these other things that you guys were talking about. Like, this is my whole existence in crypto. Like, yes, I use it for payments for certain things, but like I didn't really pay attention to it. It was just like, hey, somebody wants to send me a payment that way. Cool, I don't give a shit. Right. And then I just take it from my Coinbase and put it into my account. But really getting into crypto, it was Hex and pulsechain and pulsex. And
it's gaining steam towards the smarter people, because almost everyone has one smart friend in their group somewhere that has probably heard about Hex at this point, like within the networks of like their friend group. So it finds the people that look to dig a little bit, because eventually people run into each other, right? Like, and then you're like, dude. And I know there's guys on the street that I've never really met super personally at the gym and stuff, but like I respect them just because of the way they are. And if they were coming up to me with like a business idea or something, I'd be like, dude, I really want to hear about this. Like, you can tell if somebody's respectable long before you speak with them. It's like, you don't need to speak with someone in order to, Sam was kind of alluding to this earlier, like it's just kind of how you move. Like you could tell the way someone's happy or has an abundance mindset the second they walk in a room. It's not, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, it's just, so when someone gives you information, it's important to read that person really well, because just like some people have really positive information, some people have cancerous information that they want you to think is true because they're too lousy to do any research. All right, let's jump into this. Let's see what Dave has to say here. We've gotten wrecked for this.
Emergency just on this time. And I don't even know if it's an emergency. I'm talking SafeMoon. So
it's an emergency.
I don't know what, 6 months, 8 months. I don't remember. I did a press conference. I'm like, I want to buy a shit coin. I want to buy an alternative coin. I'm sick of seeing all these coins go up, blah, blah, blah. I want to get in the mix. I'm going to pick one basically out of a hat and see how it does. And I prefaced it by saying, I know nothing about the coins. It could be crap. It could be a scam. It could make $1 quadrillion. I don't fucking know. SafeMoon is now in the Dave Portnoy business and vice versa. Why? I don't know fucking why. It could be a Ponzi scheme, but I wanted to buy one. I chose SafeMoon. I put 40 grand into SafeMoon. SafeMoon, I tweeted about it. I said, I'm on SafeMoon. People are like, oh, they paid you. They did it. No. I just a schmo like everybody else. Put 40 grand in, learned how to buy it. I've documented
this guy is great.
Trials and tribulations with SafeMoon. It basically went to fucking nothing. So I put in 40 grand. It was all the way down to 4 grand. And I had diamond hands. I'm holding it forever. So I go to this Bitcoin conference this past weekend in Miami. I'm a speaker on the panel. And some SafeMoon people show up. And they're trying to talk to me. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you, SafeMoon. It's worth 4. Not to mention there's a lawsuit now. It's implying like Jake Paul and Tyler and all these celebrities were paid to promote SafeMoon. They were either given SafeMoon for free, and then they bump it up, and when it rises, then they slowly pull their money out.
He's learning, guys, only a year late.
Whatever. And people are always with me. They're like, Dave, you were given free SafeMoon. They told you no. Listen. You will know when I am involved in something, when I'm not. I'm as clear as day. Nobody
honest businessman. That's why people like him, guys. He's
40 grand
rich,
on my own.
he just admits it.
On my own, and I lost the money on my own. All right, this is getting long. Lately, the SafeMoon people, hey, you got to change wallets. We upgraded this new thing. We migrated. But by the way, SafeMoon says they have something new coming out. I feel like every fucking day. Listen, I put my 40 grand in one way. It's sitting there. It goes up. Great. It goes to nothing, whatever I lost. So it's at 4 grand. I'm at the Bitcoin conference. I see SafeMoon people like, hey, convert the wallet. Convert. You're missing out. Like, shut up. I put it down to 4. SafeMoon actually has the fucking ball.
This is good.
I want to SafeMoon people to send an email. They say, this is to our marketing team. Hey, Kelly, Our team spoke to Dave yesterday at Bitcoin 2022. Want to follow up here. He mentioned the SafeMoon losses on air, but failed to mention he hasn't upgraded his holdings to V2 yet. His comments give our company a bad look and unfair representation, especially coming from one of the most public figures to speak at the convention this week. We appreciate the publicity, but as he updates his coin, we offer our support and quick and easy process if you need it. Thank you, Jonas Harmer, Sales and Growth Manager, SafeMoon. Jonas at safemoon.ltd. I didn't even know SafeMoon had fucking people like this. You got unfair representation. I told you exactly what fucking happened. I've never talked to anybody from SafeMoon in my fucking life till this that they're crying. I said exactly what happened. I put in 40. It's down to 4. All right, fine. So everyone's tagged me. Hey, upgrade. Guess what? I follow safemoon.net, this upgrade button. My $4,000 turned into like 100 fucking bucks. My $4,000 turned into 100 bucks.
Oh my God.
The upgrade button, like the SafeMoon people wanted me. Where'd it go? The $4,000 went to fucking 100 bucks. Maybe I got to do something different. Hey, newsflash, SafeMoon and anybody else out there. It shouldn't be that complicated. I deposited the money, which is hard. Once you do it, you shouldn't have to do 19 different things to keep the money. So SafeMoon, shut the fuck up. And for all those people who are like, oh, yes, fucking scam artists, and they paid them to do it, and it seemed like they did. No, it doesn't. I converted. I got $100 now, SafeMoon. You happy? What did I misrepresent that too?
Holy
let's fucking beautiful rant, man.
There's
poor guy
going for being transparent and rich enough to be able to expose this stuff, because he is rich enough to expose this. Everyone knows $40,000 to him. He'd wipe his ass with $40,000. Like, let's be honest, that dude has sponsors out of his ass for everything in the United States times 10. But he's being honest. He's seeing things clearly. Although he's slow and not looking into crypto directly clearly, he's starting to see the truth. And he is one of the truth seekers, although he started a business from scratch. He doesn't give a fuck about what other people are thinking. Bitfinesse approached Dave about Hex. Oh, Adidas Hex approached Dave about Hex. Should have listened. Salty boy. Yeah, I saw that video. Good try by Adidas Hex. Very hard thing to do on the fly.
On the security front, there's something that David mentioned, and I literally saw this from this guy that I follow in Europe. I think he is at some thing, talking about how this is exactly how it happens. You have these communities where it might be, say, 1,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people, closed community. And then if every single one of those goes in their own route to promote a scam, then they're able to make a quick 10 million, 5 to 16 million bucks. And then they're able to shave that off the top and just get out of it. Like, this 100% happens, like, across the board with these shithole coins and these scams. And even on ones that the coin is not necessarily a scam, but there are people out there. When you have a free market allows for this type of thing to take place, period. Like, it's and that's one of the beautiful things about it, but it's also one of the things you need to pay attention to. Like, period. This stuff is going to happen.
Real quick, Bullish, will you pull up that $100 million hack from last night too, if you don't mind? Take your time on it.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so I want to dive into that real quick article. $100 million hack last night, Sam.
What's a VM?
Virtual machine.
What
is that? Something? Is that simple? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it like somebody had mentioned from like an Asian name? I don't know. There's a bunch of symbols for their name. I don't know what it says, but they were talking about a VM, and I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
is that something good to set up? Is it bad? Is it helpful?
That's what Cubes basically is. It runs a bunch of virtual machine containers. So you abstract the hardware underneath, and you've got a hypervisor, which is the layer between all of the VMs that run and the actual compute. So you can run multiple VMs and have different security configurations on each of them. And they're all isolated from one another. None of them can talk to each other. You can't even easily paste and copy back and forth between each other. I mean, you can spin up disposable that have no access to storage. So if you open up something that's got a virus and you do it in a disposable virtual machine,
Real quick, guys, I
it
gotta
isolates it.
call this out.
There's nothing that can happen.
Real quick, there's this girl, guys. Everyone, seriously, there's this girl that follows random guys in the Hex community and just freaking. She's messaged me 1,000 times. She's like said she's gonna send me pictures of her. She's like sending me pictures of herself and shit. And I'm telling her like, please stop, please, the whole time, just please stop. And this is exactly what she does. And I told her, I said, I'm scared to block you because I feel like you're going to mass report me. That's exactly what she's doing. She's just mass reporting me because I didn't want to get naked pictures over the internet. Was like, no, don't send me anything that's disgusting. I didn't want anything to do with it. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. And now she's coming on here. So just know, pulsechain, you better switch your name now because I'm too honest for this shit. I'm like a truth missile. Everyone knows you're lying, and it's just like, what do I want to see some tits for? Just so you can screenshot it and try and ruin my shit? Like, so
yeah, she's trying to catfish you.
It's not even that. She's just like, it's just like people want attention, and if you're not going to bait into what they're doing, they get upset. It's like, I don't care about sex and boobs and whatever. Like, I'm 28 years old. Like, it's like that. I'm a little past just like.
When I was 28 years old, that's all I cared about.
When I was 25 years old.
It's still in there. Come on, GRC.
Still in there.
Well, no, but I'm saying like the sexual part's not as. Oh yeah, this one's important. This one's important, guys. Yeah, she's not a girl. I know she's not a girl. Oh, that probably is my hacker. It probably is. I wouldn't be surprised if it. Now my Twitter is suspended.
Whoa.
Your Twitter should be suspended. You're freaking being an insane human being online. Just stop. Can you just make a new Twitter and just leave me alone? Like, that would be really great. Because I was trying to be nice to you and just be like, hey, you shouldn't send shit. It's really not good for your self-esteem. And then you just fucking mass suspend me. So fuck off. I told you 10 times. I'm going to block you. I don't care who you are. Get a life. Now, someone block her from the chat too, guys.
Don't even, yeah. Let's go into this video. Don't even fuck worry with that shit.
Yeah. Move on.
Yeah, it's just a waste of your time. Okay, it's muted. You're gonna have to or something. Maybe
Every time something goes wrong, let's go on a bank contract. I always think it's an inside job.
Move on.
Okay, it's muted. There's a video playing in the background of that one.
Yeah, sorry, I was just making sure it wasn't one of ours. Yeah, I think Bullish pulled that up. I think there was just the stream playing in the background. Bullish, you can just hear it, just a hair.
I want to talk to, I'm going to have to go in a minute, probably right after this video, but I want to talk to Hexagon, well, both of you guys, but Texas Hexagon about all the shit he's talking about is fascinating, and I know nothing about it. Like, that seems like a super awesome way to learn. If you want to come back on, I would love to, like, go in more depth on all that, the cube thing, how to set up a virtual machine, because somebody could just set up a virtual machine instead of buying a separate machine, which could potentially for the right person be an easier step to do than buying a computer. If somebody only wants to put in $1,000, it's a software solution versus a hardware solution. Well, let's do
an episode on that directly. So if you don't mind writing down some of those notes, Sam, and just projecting them to me so I can remember. I would love to do like a step-by-step episode. Like, let's do like a setup episode.
Yeah.
So like, if you have time.
Your best way to set up in this dollar frame, in this tax bracket, in this tax bracket, and in this tax bracket. Because setting up on 3 different tax brackets is all different. Like, a pleb is going to set up different than a dude with 100K, and a dude with 100K is going to set up different than a dude with 10 mil. It's just, that's the way it is. And everyone's always like, there's one answer for this, there's one answer for that. It's like, no, there's not. If I was 70, my staking ladder would look a lot different. It does right now. So, it's just the way it is. It's just, people always want to say these general terms, but life isn't very general like that. It's not exclusive like that. But yeah, we'll definitely set up an episode. Sam, you want to say anything before you
go? If anybody wants to check out any of the videos I do on my channel, you can check those out, or just say what's up on Twitter or Instagram. If you're like fitness related stuff, I have a fitness channel that talks about like the fringe of fitness related stuff. In the same sense that we're talking about the fringe of the financial world by getting into crypto, I do that in the fitness world on like whether it's drugs or compounds or supplements or different types of biohacking related stuff on how to improve one or optimize one's life in some fashion. So that stuff's over there. Appreciate you guys. Texas Hexagon, thank you for coming on. Cryptographics, didn't get a chance to talk to you, but hopefully we can connect maybe next week or something and do a video and get into more in depth on topics.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it'll happen, bro. Have a good day, man.
You too, guys. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
Cheers. Talk to you later.
What do you? Hey, Cryptographic, what do you got? Let's watch this one more time, and then I want to comment on. This is actually a big deal within crypto. So let's
elephant money. Yeah.
Let's do this.
So every time something goes wrong with one of bank teller's contracts, I always think it's an inside job. I always think it's him really exploiting it, and then saying it was some other wallet, some other address. And for me, I would much rather he just say, hey guys, I'm pulling the liquidity and I'm going to do something with it, or it could be used for something later. You know what I'm saying? You know, or just let it happen and don't say it was an exploit. It's not a golf cart street.
This dude needs to look. Can you turn it up a little, bullish?
I just think why would you leave 17 million in the liquidity? You have the ability to do a flash loan. Why would you not take all of it? If you got this exploit where you can just mint elephant tokens and take the funds out, why are you leaving money there? So I'm going to be looking into it. We'll see what BC says. But for me, I think it's an inside job. No expectations, man.
Let's go.
That dude's a mumble rapper, if I've ever heard one. My God, couldn't hear a word he was saying. But what did you guys get from that? If you could, maybe my laptop's audio is not great either.
I mean, I didn't really. I'm so out of the loop when it comes to what he was talking about that I was trying to piece it together, but I need to look more into it before I make any statements. Honestly, like it sounds like
it was a big thing. So I'm gonna look at just like the overall. What was it, guys? In the comments, anyone want to drop a link for me? What got hacked?
Yeah, I'm just gonna look up $100 million.
Yeah, like it was specific. Chat activate. Oh, elephant coin rug pull.
Yeah, their price chart is not looking good. It's down.
Elephant money. So, guys, any insight in the comments about what happened there? A lot of money there. Should have watched one of his other videos. Trayvon is a shit coin. No, I don't think that's true. I like Trayvon. I mean, he does his own thing, which is like hard. Like when you're a content creator, you know how hard it is to take the jump from like regular hexagon to like covering stuff. So like I like that he did it and without like. But I mean, his more token and everything, I don't know anything about that. So don't. Elephant money. Who is buying elephant money?
It's one of those 10% in, 10% out tax kind of coins too. I'm noticing a pattern with these kind of things.
They had a reserve exploit.
Well, the 10% in, 10% out, like almost Ponzi schemes it because they don't have enough money to back it at that point.
Mm-hmm. It's like almost like holding people in so that way they can stay in long enough and think they're going to wait it out, and then they just get rugged. You know,
it's
just incentivized staying.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see right here. Let me read this. 1. The attack to the elephant status is a traditional price manipulation attack. We will use the following transaction, versatileblockstream.com. The attack borrowed. Okay, here we go. Scooch up one peep. Yep. The attack borrowed 131
million
162 100,000 WBNB
wrapped BNB
using the flash loan. Then the attacker swapped 131,000 wrapped BNB to 34,000 elephant token. The attacker mint turnkey token by providing. So is this just like basically arbitrage to the point where they just come around and take all the money from it, or what? Like, is this just trading around to the point where the attacker
sounds like it.
The attacker can then use obtained elephant to step 2 to swap. Yeah. So whatever this shit is, it's like whoever's buying this shit is a fucking insane. The attacker redeemed the trunk token in the step 3 to get wrapped BNB since the token value after the attack is more than the cost, the attacker can get around 4 million USD profit in one round of attack. Wow.
Damn.
The attacker
That's
can
66
repeat
million?
the
The
process.
profit? Holy
6
shit.
million, I think. Oh, is that overall profit? Yes, the attacker can repeat this process. So is that something that goes on behind the scenes, like from the people that are doing it, or is that something they do to nuke the whole thing? Anyway, when you guys are talking about coins in general, right? Like you guys obviously have been talking about crypto and shit for a while. Is there anything you can trust? Like, is there really anything you can trust other than, like, obviously we're all Hexikins and Pulse people, but like other than Ethereum, or like where do you guys stand as far as your trust in the public, other coins, other ecosystem, other blockchains? Because I don't have any exposure, but it's more so because I'm new. What do you think, Graphics?
I mean, I don't think that trusting is a good way to do anything in the cryptosphere, to be honest. I think that you need to go always deeper and assume that you don't know something at all times. Even when you think you know something, there's always an element you don't understand. Like you may not know, like the fact that we can't identify who the wallets are that hold certain large amounts of any crypto means that we don't understand what the ramifications for what they could do to the price, for example. Right? Like look at the infrastructure of Ethereum and consensus and Infura and MetaMask. Like if you didn't look into it, you'd never know that JP Morgan owns a major share in consensus. And if you look into their attachment to Coinbase and Circle, USDC is all connected to that as well. And I mean, like the deeper you go, the more you realize what you don't know. And so to say you trust anything in the crypto space is just a bad idea, in my opinion.
That's
even when it comes to Hex. Even when it comes to
dude,
Hex.
there's a hacker in Hex that has 150 million hacks, and he's robbing everyone as fast as he can. So if you guys want to know the truth, if we can beat around the bush all day long, y'all can call me liar and do whatever you want all day long. But there's a guy with 150 million hex in one of his wallets, also hundreds of millions of USD and DAO and everything, and DAI and everything. And he is robbing people for less than 10 grand. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Personal attack. I think it was a personal attack personally, because the person is like so rich with Hex that he literally injected $500 worth of Ethereum into my account to end all my stakes and net zeroed. And it was after he already got all my liquid months before. So it's like the dude's probably just trying to get a reaction out of me at this point, which is fine. I already counted all that shit goodbye anyway, so it's just more of experimental. But Bitfinesse, wow. These rug pulls are just what remote robbery looks like. At least the guy who sticks a gun in my face is taking a personal risk. No respect for remote robbery. Maybe this won't be forgotten. I like Trayvon also. He does actually look like an NFT now. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Like, there's a lot of unknowns in Hex too, no matter what anyone says. Like, there's dudes with bad intentions. There could be more guys with better intentions, you know what I mean? But, like, it's the thing. It's like there's a lot of unknowns, and I think it's really dumb when people don't think that they're unknowns. Like, I think it's silly. Like, when someone says anything's 100%, I'm just like, that's not 100%. Like,
well, you know, something Sam said earlier, like, you know, the things that you think about, like when you're onboarding, like, you know, you don't go all in on something. You don't ever do more than you're willing to lose and distribute. Like you can't just put everything in one thing. You've got to, and if you're going to get into something new that's untested, you got to go in slow. And you know, for me, that's what I did with Hex. Like, you know, I started with $4,000. That's nothing. I mean, I had massive amounts of money I could have stuck into it. Now, in hindsight, fuck, I wish I had. But
of course,
but it gave me confidence, right? It gave me the ability. Like, can I even end a stake? Like, what does that look like? How's that going to work? I'm not going to go put everything in without having tested the entire process end to end. So I did that first stake for a year, came out, everything was great, was richer for it, put it right back in. Now I'm laddering up all the way to 15 years and let's go. But you gotta approach these things with caution and do a lot of research, read the contracts, read the code if you can, you know, make sure that it's audited the right way and it's done in a reputable way. And just because it has a white paper does not mean it's legit.
Every rug pull has a white paper.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just it's so much common sense. it's so hard to have common sense in crypto because you actually have to learn it. It's
Mm.
like
Yeah.
the people that know crypto because they have crypto common sense. It's like
Mhm.
all you guys nodded your head right when I said that. But if you don't know, you wouldn't even have known to think that, right? Like you
Mhm.
just be like, what?
Yeah.
But it's crazy because you don't really have to see too much about people to see. Because I talk about furus a lot. I'm a furu hater, big time. Like you won't see anyone that you might consider a furu, you will never see on the show, and they'll never contact me ever because they just know that I just go for the throat because I've seen it. I've seen it for so long at this point that I hate it. And it's not about making money. If you think this is about making money, you're an idiot. Everyone makes money doing stuff. But if I'm going to sit up here and say, Jim Rat's only goal in this whole entire world is to promote pulsechain, and there's no other incentive that I would ever live by,
Mhm.
then you're lying. You're an asshole.
Yep.
Be honest. I want to have a store. I want to make sweatshirts. I want to do this. I want to gain popularity in my free life. I want to have financial freedom completely, and I want to learn how to do that on the internet. People want to say, "Oh no, I got into hex so early and everything's fine and I'm rich and it's cool." And it's just like if you're not transparent, you can't move forward
Mhm.
at all.
Mhm.
You just can't. If you're lying about anything in your life, you
Mhm.
are stopped right there.
Yep.
I'm telling you
Well
because you
said.
cannot emotionally develop.
Mhm.
Isn't that true? Do you guys feel like
Yeah,
that's true in your
there's
lives? Like
100% true. 100%.
Mhm.
It's about character and it's about integrity. And if you don't have those things, you don't progress. You don't get to where you're supposed to be in life.
Mhm. I mean, the thing is we can always be better with integrity. There's always parts of ourselves that we're improving on. And so like being able to understand that you might be not in your full integrity, but you're working on it and you're always pushing that boundary. I mean,
Mhm.
that's how you grow. And like you're
Mhm.
saying, Jim, right? You
Mhm.
can't grow without that. It's you're limiting yourself. The less honest you are, you're lying to yourself, which means you're living outside of reality in a way. And you
You're
are
lying to
actually
yourself.
you're literally lying to yourself, and yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And
Mhm.
you can't actually live the life you could be living because you're not living in reality.
that's in
You're living a fake
in
life.
the sobriety community, they tell you will not move forward with your sobriety until you get all your shit you've done wrong on paper.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's literally why do they tell you that? It's not because they give a fuck what you did. Nobody cares about what you've done. Everyone's done weird shit. It's
Mhm.
because they know enough about spirituality and moving forward in life. They can
Yeah.
tell you the only way for you to get past this point is to actually pass this point.
Mhm.
It's not, you can't just glide through it and pretend. Until I stopped fighting everyone in my life, even my family, where I was just like, you know what, they're not going to believe me or whatever, and I'm not going to believe them or look at things the same way, no matter what. Even though they don't hate what I'm doing or anything, but like in general, you just realize like I have to do this for me, and I have to be honest for me, or nothing will go the way I want it to. Because I see all these
Mhm.
channels where they just sell out, they sell out, they sell out. They're getting pennies in front of a freight train. It's just like always Richard says. They're picking up pennies in front of a freight train. Someone offers them $1,200. They're willing to sell their fucking soul for it. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And it's like, hold on one second. There goes your whole reputation. There goes your
Mhm.
whole future business model. You
Mhm.
didn't think about it
Mhm.
like that because you never. Integrity is so important in this industry, and it's something that I think is getting misunderstood in a
Mhm.
way. You know what I mean?
100% agree with that. 100% agree with that.
Got to be
And the
true. Got to
problem
be
is
true to yourself.
it's made up the crypto sphere is made up of so many people that are utilizing that kind of business structure where they're, taking the $1,200 here and taking the $1,000 there. It sucks because it seems like it's harder to get people to actually listen now because they're so used to hearing all the hype and they're so used to hearing all these opportunities from fake news, essentially in crypto about how make $1 million overnight. And then when you come out with the truth, people are just like, it's not as exciting, almost like it's like almost an overstimulated sphere where people are so used to having excitement in everything that when the truth comes out and it's way better for you, but it's just raw facts and here's how it actually is. It's like, yeah, they just kind of take it for granted and stop paying attention to it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so incredibly interesting as you move forward on this journey because you're I think we're starting to run into like-minded people for the first time, you know?
Yep.
And it's like, wow, whoa. It totally gives me backing for the way I think, right? Like before I found people to talk to, I was like, everything I think is crazy. I would literally think that. I was just like, you're crazy. You're just a crazy guy. Like I'm not, I still thought it was right, but I just accepted myself as being a crazy guy. I'm like, I tell my parents and stuff. I'm like, oh no, you guys are bullshitting me. I got like 100 guys. They say the same fucking thing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I know you're bullshitting me now because I finally got someone to sit with me and talk for a minute instead of just everyone telling me how things work and how things are going to be and how things used to be in the 70s, the 90s, 2005. It's like, what about right now? It's like, anyone want to do any research right now? It's crazy.
That's a damn good point.
What do you got on the docket today, Graphs?
I've got I released a video this morning on Maximus going in depth about what it is and what the rewards are and all that. I've got
and they're coming out with an announcement I heard today.
Today, right?
Yeah. They're announcing the launch date supposedly today. And then I'm doing a stream with Gold Key tomorrow as well to go deep on everything asked. At the end of the video, there's like 3 or 4 questions that I want to find out about what kind of, if any, control admins have at any point in the protocol, either in the mint phase, during the stake, or after when the stake is done. There's a bunch of things I'm going to ask them, and we're going to go deep and make sure that it's actually safe. And if they have a second audit that's coming as well, so if that second audit's passed, how that went. I also want to know too, like, who's the audit by? Because there's so many auditing companies, and some auditing companies, and I don't think Gold Key and those guys would do this, just judging by the way they hold themselves in general. But some audit companies, you can just purchase them and they're audited, but it's like,
well, that's really just every audit company. It literally an audit company is that. There's just reputable audit companies. Like,
exactly.
Reputable or non-reputable. And he actually Gold Key didn't come on my show, but
it was Dipcatcher, wasn't it?
Yeah, Dipcatcher was on my show, and he kind of mentioned that they were going after Richard's model where he used the best, and he's published what audits he used. And they're going to go after an audit that has some merit so they can at least show people. That's what they were kind of alluding to, at least. Like they were concerned about the merit of the audit because audits are just toilet paper too, you know. Everything's toilet paper now, guys.
They did a good stream too and walked through every line of code, right? And there's no, like, just because it's audited, don't just like take that as an excuse not to do anything else. Like you should go that extra step and go out on GitHub and go look at the code. And if it's well commented, like Maxi is, there's more comments in than there is lines of code. That's one of the beautiful things about it. It's a really, really simple contract. You don't have to really understand code, but if you can sit down with somebody who does, or just go through it and understand like what each of those functions are doing.
Absolutely.
That helps. That's what I look for.
The only thing that I like, the thing that's been good and amazing obviously about Hex is, like, for now, for us getting into it, like, we know it's secure because it's been 2 years, right? But especially now that it's almost a weird position to be in because we have Hex that is the golden child, right? But now we have this new thing potentially where it hasn't proven itself, and it could potentially affect how we, like, our golden child, right? What we have, our portion of the golden child, right? So it's risky, even if it's small. There's extra risk there, and so we have to consider that for Maximus. Even if they do everything right, there's still that unproven time where we don't know, it hasn't proven itself. So it still is a risk.
In the tech world, we call that the unknown unknowns, right? You just don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
You don't know how it's going to affect.
I wonder then, is it? Oh, go ahead there.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, for that, I mean, maybe it's better to do instead of doing your entire stack, if Maximus is something that you want to do, maybe you consider doing, for anything that's built like Maximus, where it seems like it's been proven through audits and all these things, it seems like they're doing everything right. Take marginal risks, put like a small percentage of something in. Don't take your entire allocation of what you own and dump it in there, because especially too, we're talking 3% and 3.3% extra hedron, 2.866% extra hex over and above what you get for normal rewards. It's not like you're getting a mountain of hex extra. You're getting, if that same stake is worth $1 million at the end of it, you're getting an extra, what would it be? 30 grand, 33 grand out of the whole stake from your hex value. You know, like, is it worth the extra risk for 33 grand when you have $1 million at stake? You could lose your entire thing. So I mean, there's important things to consider, you know. So instead of taking that, take a smaller amount and make that as like, okay, I'm going to take the majority of my hex and stake it normally, and then take a smaller amount and maybe place it in something like Maximus. So that way I then have liquidity. I then benefit from it a little. I have that offset, you know, it's a little bit of a risk, but there's a benefit at the end of it. Plus in the middle, if I need to get out, I have a little bit of liquidity that I can either, you know, get rid of to use in my daily life, or I can buy back in at a later date if I so need it as well. You know, so you have the option, but you're not allocating everything, which is your golden child, which you never want to do.
Yep, exactly. That's a great point.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're pooling to get to get at a little bit more of the acceleration, right? But in the grand scheme, it's diluted and it's distributed. So, you know, it is marginal in terms of the gain. So yeah, don't go all the way in on something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Jeremiah, what's your
you're going to
opinion?
get doubles on it anyhow, right? I mean, they're going to go ahead and do it now so that you get the double on the pulse chain side when it launches. So you get that benefit.
So let's talk about the negatives first. So what do you guys think could be a potential negative as far as what people minting into the Maximus protocol could be? The fact that there's allocations towards something other than a potential opportunity, I guess. The fact that it's going to be locked up for 15 years into a protocol, right? And I don't know. Is there buy pressure on Maxi? Like, what's the Maxi token itself is what I'm a little confused about.
Right.
And like, that's kind of where I get confused, right? Like, I understand the one.
Where's the buy pressure coming from?
Is it speculative buy pressure for Maxi token? Is that what we're talking about?
Well, I guess the way the Maxi token would work is if and when it makes it onto the market, because someone would have to provide liquidity. And assuming, see, this is the dilemma I've been thinking about with how that will all work is because the way Maximus is going to be not marketed, but who it will be alluring to will probably be smaller investors for the most part. Because if someone is already a whale, why would they add extra counterparty risk and get the same bonus that they would normally get, right? They might get a tiny bit extra. I doubt it, honestly, though. I think if you're that big, you're getting the same bonus. It makes no sense, right? So here's the thing. If it's majority smaller investors, right, which, hey, you never know, right? There's a lot of amazing people in this community. That might happen. But assuming that doesn't happen, or assuming it's like we don't get the whale, for liquidity to be properly provided, you need both sides, right? And if someone has $10,000 in Maxi at the time, right, they also need to provide another $10,000 on the other side of that liquidity pool. And then it's only 10 grand, right? Assuming someone comes in the beginning and spends that money, right? They could I wonder how liquidity would perform in that sense. You know, like, could you get massive, like, impermanent loss out of that? If the liquidity provider could get any quite quick, like, how would it spike the price? What would it do here? Like, I think if you provide liquidity in the beginning with you're muted there, Jim Rat.
I hate, you know what my worst favorite thing to do, and then for the next 20 days moving forward, any sort of speculation on price action for coins that don't exist yet. Yeah, I mean, my God, dude, my brain. And then it's like, if you don't say the coin's going to the moon, like, their whole community hates you. It's just like, it's no. Because I tell these guys, I'm like, how clear can a man be? I'm a great communicator. I tell them, guys, it's not about your project in particular. It's the fact that it's not out yet. So everything I'm saying is just fluff, and people could get wrecked still. That's all you can say, right? Like, you can't say, like, oh, dude, you're a bad guy. Fuck you. I don't know these guys. Like, I don't fucking know who they are. All I know is I'm in here. I'm in a war bunker, basically, trying to make sure people don't get wrecked, including myself. And it's like, any distractions, like, no, please stop. Like, I need you to, like, I need to focus really hard before I make any decisions. But it's very fluffy, right? And there's marketing, so they just want to come on and talk about all these imaginaries. But really what they are is imaginary. They're not real. It doesn't matter what you say in a Telegram group. It doesn't matter what you tell me. This guy's a good guy. This guy's a bad guy. This guy's got this. It's when millions and millions and millions of dollars are being accepted in any way, shape, or form, and there's nothing but words to show for it, then speculation will be high. I mean, whatever, thinking that it could be a negative thing will be high. So guys, if you're owning one of these projects and you think that's not true, then you're ignorant. Whoops. Like you are.
Whoops.
Because it's a whoopsie, because it's just like, I'm being super open-minded to everyone and I'm not hating on anyone. And I do feel hate from certain people just because I'm not directly like, this could be the next biggest thing since fucking. And I already got guys coming into my stream, coming into the Twitter group this morning. And this dude's like, dude, I've been watching your stream like crazy. And I'm like, dude, that's amazing. So much. Thank you. And he's like, I sacrificed for everything for everyone you had on. And I was like, hold the fucking phone, brother.
Wow.
I was like, whoa, please hold on 1 second, 1 second. And I had to rethink everything again because it's other people. I am an influencer now, right? Like, doesn't matter what anyone says. It's like there's people that watch me and they want to learn some stuff. And it's not financial advice, but I have to be very detailed with what I say because I refuse to end up like one of these dorks that just does not say the things properly. They just wiggle around everything. It's just a wiggle fest. No, I'm a man. Like, boom, this is what I want. This is what I'm doing. And I'm going to say to your face, like, I don't think you're doing that right, but I understand where you're coming from. Like, I understand people that want to make money off NFT shilling. Who the fuck doesn't? Like, it's dope. But I want to have a career long term. So it's kind of like what do you guys think about like influencers within this space and other spaces assuming power within a community and then maybe not doing the footwork it takes to be the community? You know, like a lot of times when you're starting a channel, you have a lot of motivation to learn. And then as your channel grows and maybe your wealth grows in other ways too, you get a little less incentivized to work. And it seems like the same people want to be looked up to for information. And I'm like, hold on here. You need to be studying every day. Every day. Because I know I am. Every day. So what do you guys think about that? I feel like it's really hard to find good info.
It's hard to figure out what's real. You know? Go ahead, Crypto.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard too because I mean, I've even noticed this with just thought patterns that I've had, and especially since starting the channel. You know, it's really easy to find that thing that sticks for information that people want to hear. You know, and like when I first started the channel, the thing that blew up the most was talking about strategies with pulsex, like using words like 10,000x and financial freedom. Those are the videos that do the best. But then when you give actual information about something that is like it needed to be talked about, like I spent 5 days on a stablecoin video, literally reading the legal terms for USDC, USDT, looking into DAI, and is one of my least watched videos. And so in this space, it's what I've noticed is, for me at least, what my thought patterns have been like. Every once in a while it'll come up where it's like, maybe like, what do I need to say? How do I need to like title my videos? It almost comes up as like you have to remind yourself that you're not in it for the likes. You're not in it for the viewership. You're not in it for the subs. You're in it for getting the people who are able to listen to you, to give them alpha and to give them the information that's true, regardless if they don't like it, whatever, but it's about being true to why you're doing it in the first place. And I've noticed that even in my own thoughts, every once in a while that will come up where it's just like, okay, well, what do I need to do to get more likes? And then I'm like, no. Okay, check yourself real quick. This is not why you're in it. But I could see why that happens. And I could see that you have to be, like we were talking about, you have to have integrity and you have to be accountable to yourself and be able to reflect.
Your life outside of computer has to be more important than your life inside of it, or you'll get controlled by the one inside of it.
100%.
You have no foundation out there, guys. It's just like those people that overreact to tweets and get all pissed off when people are up in their shit. Like, just know they ain't got shit going on. Because who the fuck's got time for that?
Too many self-absorbed. Yeah, gents, I have to go.
Thanks
Pleasure,
so
man.
much,
Jim Rat Crypto. Thanks for having me on Cryptographics. Great to see you. Great talking to you guys. Let's get together. We'll talk about VMs one day.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, brother. Have a great day. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge and your experience with us.
Absolutely. You guys have a good one.
You too, man.
Yeah, you too, brother.
Dude, what do we do? We're in the bear market right now, just whipping out content like it's nobody's business.
I know. It's crazy.
It's fun, though. It's fun, dude.
It is. Well, I think,
It's so fun.
I was going to, like, if you look at when people are, I'm not going to say any content creators because it's not about that itself, but I'm noticing that when content creators kind of go away, it seems like there is, and this is just my viewpoint, I could be wrong here just from because I'm limited in my perspective, but it seems like as content goes down, there's more reason for people to look into nitty gritty things and kind of fight and kind of, start to just bicker. But when there's more content, it seems like people have a reason to get excited and keep learning and forget about the fact that things are down and we're in a bear market. And I think that it's important, for us that are doing this stuff to keep, it's hard, especially for guys who've been in it for so damn long. Like me and you, we've only been in this for months now at best, right? Or you've been in this for what, just over a month now? As far as content creating?
I've been in it for a couple, almost 2 years now.
But content creating specifically for Hex, right?
50 days, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you and I are super, super new. And so I think we still have that ball is just enrolling kind of mentality of and building that for ourselves. And so I think it is a little more difficult for the guys who have been in it for a while to, want to keep talking about maybe the same thing they've been talking about for a year or more now. So I understand, but I think it's important for us to be here. And yeah, I just think that it's crazy too that how even in a bear market, how excited people can still get, because people come in here and I don't know how I can't tell how many people
I think this is new, but I think this is new. Is new. I don't think there's ever been a bear market with Sam Stolt getting 100 retweets on posting a picture of liver last night. He posted a picture of his dinner.
Is that what he got?
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, dude, there's still there's still like a lot of clicks going on. Trust me, I know. I've been messing with all the sites. I can tell activity's high, and it's not even just on my channel. It's just I can tell it's high in general for the time that we're at. Not in general, like it'll pop off, but like this should be more of like 20 live viewers, 25 live viewers, like because it's we're in a bear market, people, like, and it could get really bad. And I want everyone in there to know that if you're got your moon boots on ready for planet Neptune and that's all you're thinking about, I would say you're probably not thinking smart. You should think smarter and really prepare yourself for the worst. And then if good shit happens, you're good. But like even people say, what do you think about taking out USDC in a bear market?
I mean, taking out and just like holding it kind of thing?
Or like getting yield on it, like whatever, 5% or 10%.
Well, I mean, then you're risking you have counterparty risk then because you're lending it to a protocol, So it's like,
well, let's just say that nothing occurs, like in general.
All right. Okay. Perfect situation. I mean, the thing is then you're almost you're making a bunch of predictions. You're predicting that pulsechain won't come out for a while. You're predicting that the bear market is going to go on for a while. And we've seen how fast price can move with Hex. Like one day, like you go away for a day, all of a sudden price goes up 50, 60% or 2x or 3x over a weekend when you're gone.
1100%
and you're out
3 weeks. Yeah.
So I mean, I think
if I
that
bought Hex 3 days later, I'd have missed 1100%.
Exactly.
Literally.
And so I mean, you're getting the kind of that trader's mindset in a way too, where you're trying to like take advantage of ups and downs, and you're kind of strategize. And I mean, what's the narrative in this space and from Richard Hart and a lot of guys that have traded in the past? I mean, you got like. Listen to Wales only talking about just sitting on your ass and doing nothing. I mean, that's the best strategy in my opinion too. I mean, anytime I've tried to, play the market and play smart, I got not wrecked, but like I'd mistime it. I'd think I'd be doing something right and it would go do the opposite. So, I mean, knowing why you're in it in the first place, if you believe in something, it's going to happen in the long run anyways, So why try to make a little bit of short-term gain when you're more likely to miss whatever you're trying to actually achieve than actually achieve it?
Nobody that actually understands does that though. It's like this understanding piece. It's like once you understand, but like understanding takes like years of like weird life experience and like financial experience and like because it usually starts in regular finance, right? You buy a house or like you buy a stock or like you get wrecked by your student loans and you're like, what the F is this? And so it takes like learning. Nardo won for the win. Thank you so much for the super guys. I can't even, I don't know what to say about all the super chats except thank you. And I mean, it's pretty transparent what I'm doing. I'm here every day at 11. So it's like, it's going to help the show. I appreciate what all you guys are doing. And all I can say is like, I'm going to make super impactful content when pulsechain comes out, as far as making sure no one's getting confused. No one's getting nervous. I'm just going to be like the spot where we can all get our ideas out in the morning and just be like, okay, are we good? Like, let's make sure anything crazy, up to date every single day, updates. And then technicals straight to GRFX later, 3 o'clock. Let's get down to the tech.
I'll try my best to keep it, man. It's sweet how consistent you've been and how much people, like, you have such a core audience now too that keeps coming back, that once the bear market is kind of a little bit out of the narrative, I think you're going to get a lot more people, especially because if you're doing that when pulsechain, people are going to want someone to go every single day. And having the mentality you have, plus the knowledge, plus the ability to bring people on and be objective at all times, people are going to respect the hell out of that. And I can't wait to see what happens.
I think the community was waiting for someone to come in with this role, like someone a little more independent, because I'm a lot more independent from crypto, right? Like I'm not some crypto dude. I started thinking about this shit like 5 months ago, hardcore. You know what I mean? So it has nothing to do with crypto. I have a lot of life experiences that were kind of odd, maybe a little bit taboo compared to the average Joe. So that stuff changes you. It changes you in person. And then you become someone else and you can't fake, I just don't care anymore. I don't have enough energy. I know if I'm going to be effective graphics that I need to be honest, because I don't have enough emotional energy to push forward with faking it. You know how anxiety provoking it is when you're just pretending even a little bit.
You just feel I don't even know how to say the feeling, but yeah, it just engulfs you. It fully engulfs you when that's happening. And it messes with speak, the way you hold yourself, how you talk to people, your ability to actually relay information.
And it affects your ability to be stern with other men and women in your points.
Yes.
Because when I know I'm not lying about anything, and trust me, I know what it's like to lie about shit. So I'm not saying I'm some saint. I'm saying like, it's almost like a compare and contrast thing. It's like, I've been on the other end of it where I was like, nothing I was saying was true. And now it's like, I'm trying to do everything I'm saying is true. So it's like, it's just the draining factor. You want to be successful, you'll figure out how. And guess what? I've figured out exactly how to be set. It doesn't matter what my work looks like in the future from this point on. It's about your mentality when you wake up, because I beat people to the punch 6 hours before they wake up. It's like, it's not even close. It's like, and I'm not saying that as a brag. I'm saying that as like, there's room for you guys to step up in any way you want to in any industry. People are a joke now, dude, when it comes to companies, not solo companies. Like solo companies are good, like small companies, but everyone knows if you're working for someone in 2022, you don't give a fuck about the job. You don't care most of the time, of course. It's like, we got to be passion driven. And it seems like you jumped right in. You were like, dude, I get it. Like, I want to do, and I know you were experimenting with the blog and your clothes, and you were kind of, what's this all about? You're probably, but it seems like you basically went all in. And you were just like, there's opportunity here, and I know I can work hard here.
Yeah, 100%. That was exactly how it went. It was like uncertainty, playing around, trying to figure things out. And then both the click of remembering that, oh yeah, I like to teach, and people wanting to listen to what I have to say. That was just, okay, yeah, all in from here. And I think you're saying the business side, I think a lot of people, or I wonder at least, how many people would actually thrive doing something like what we're doing, but they've never tried it because they haven't, pushed themselves in the way you have, like either get up earlier, spend the time to focus, push the envelope. Oh, you're muted as well there, buddy. You're muted there, GRC.
50 days, that's all it takes, guys. 50 days of hard work and you can be, I'm right where I want now. Like, this is right where I was trying to get, so I could start making the content that I wanted to make. I wanted to reach a couple goals, get my base audience, get the Telegram up, do all the shit. And now it's like, this is the kind of content I want to make. Like, how can we not get scammed today? Because that's how I'm going to be useful. I can use my life. I don't have to follow anyone else's shit. What are they doing? And that's what they're doing. That's what they're good at. It's like, what am I good at? Being honest, being transparent. I'm a good communicator. I'm good at bringing people together. I'm very honest, so people trust me. And it's hard to find trust these days, right? Like, finding a trust. I tell all the guys all the time, I'm like, man, I wish I could trust people like I used to. It's just like, but nope, fuck that. Not in 2022. You get robbed blind. And yeah, I just think the way you're going about your channel, I absolutely love it. Like, it's the way it should be done. You have a legit YouTube channel that gives legit info and has legit interaction, right? Like, you're doing all of it right, I think. And you're not shilling shit. You have a smile on your face. You know, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Because if you succeed and I succeed, it's like our chances of all succeeding are way higher.
100%.
Because it's like, dude, I'm going to be more popular if you're popular. You're going to be more popular if I'm popular. Richard, if he's more popular, we'll be more popular. If Hex makes more money, then we'll have more money, and then we can hire someone. And it's like, so it's the hive effect we were reading. It's a psychological phenomenon where people actually work towards the same thing for no incentive other than the incentive of the group. And it's an odd thing that occurs sometimes in life. And it's happening in Hex. It's everyone's working together for no reason. Like, this is not the most efficient way to make money, guys. But I mean, actually, that's not even really true. But like the crypto space is just new for this kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's like the government's giving us no choice but to really double down on this shit. Like guys like you and me, normal guys, nice guys, is just like, dude, we have no choice. You know, you'll get wrecked out there. And so will I, dude. Like, and we could be making 200 grand, 250 grand working a job, and we're still half wrecked.
100%.
Now I'm living $800 a month, and it's like, dude, I can't be wrecked.
You figured it out.
It's like, oh my God, dude, I feel the freedom. And dude, I go for walks in the morning to get my coffee, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is what it is, dude. I've been waiting. Just like for shit like that, like walking to get your coffee before you get your day started rather than fucking rolling out of bed pissed the fuck off.
Well, dude, 100%. Like waking up, and I don't know about you, but 8 hours at any job, or 12 hours when I was at the mine, would be a incredibly long day. I would be so drained afterwards. And this, I can work, like, literally get up. First thing I do is I come to YouTube and I check everything. I answer some comments and whatnot. The whole day is spent doing this. So it's anywhere from like 12 to 14 to 16 hours someday focused on something to do with crypto or building this. And you know what? I get up the next day and I'm looking forward to it. And at any previous job, I have never looked forward to anything even related to those kind of hours. Like, it's actually motivating, and it's actually something you want to go and do all the time. You know, it's rewarding, but it's a challenge in itself, and it feels like you're actually, you're not leeching off someone for some kind of, how do you put it? You're not leeching off a company. You're building something on your own. It's self-fulfilling in a psychological way. You feel better about yourself. You feel more motivated about life. You feel a little bit more at peace because you're working on something. Even if it doesn't work, you're trying your ass off. And even if someone down the street's making a lot more money than you, working for a company, you almost have this reassurance of yourself. Like, you know what? They may be making more money than me. They may be doing this, but you know what? I'm putting my all into it in a way that they're not, and you have respect for yourself. I've noticed that about myself. I have more respect for myself since starting to do something like this, just because I know I get up and I put my all into it, and GRC, like, how do you feel in that respect too? Like, when you went from working to this?
Oh my God. You just feel like a man. You feel like you feel like you're like, I'm finally taking control of my life. However that looks, doesn't even matter about the money. It just matters about the decision. It's like the decision, once you make the decision, because you're already all in once you make the decision. Like, anyone who's made that decision's already, well, before I make a decision, I'm already motivated. Like, the motivation comes first for me. Like, and then I make a decision because. Oh,
interesting. Really?
Yeah. It's like I get motivated when something negative happens in my life, and then it's like I'm ready to make the decision. Like, the alpha I give will do more good in the community than locked up inside my head. It takes decades to get to where I am. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, I'm inspired by negative stuff. So like whenever I get in a relationship ends or finances are low or there's trouble, like that's usually when I'm performing my best. I perform poorly when things are just peachy.
Really?
I get
Interesting.
lazy.
So,
I'd be a good like war guy, like because I'm very good at stress out as far as performing. It's not good for mental health. But, like,
yeah.
But yeah,
so
dude,
you like? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so are you more like when now that you're doing this and it started from like obviously you were in a place of like stress, so you started doing this. It sounds like, tell me if I'm wrong here, if I'm interpreting this wrong. Are you still in a place of like motivation
because it was fun?
Right. So would that be then different from what you were saying? Was this the first thing that you started doing because you were kind of optimistic about it and kind of in a peachy mindset? Or did this stem from?
I just loved Hex. I thought it was dope. And I knew I could do better channels than everyone because I thought they were boring.
That's fucking sick then.
Well, at the beginning, I just thought they were boring. I was like, these guys are boring. And I'm not hating. Everyone likes to digest information in other ways, but I know there's guys that like to digest information a certain type of way. And I have a knack for keeping my energy up, like which most people just don't do. So it just was a good fit. Like it was more of like a fit. Like I always tell people this too. Like you already have your position to be valuable. You just haven't started telling people about it yet. It's like I was doing exactly what I'm doing here. I just wasn't on camera. So it is already what you're doing. What you're good at would be already what anyone's doing in their free time because that's where your mind would go. And to find out what you're good at, just average out everything you do in your free time. What you end up doing in your free time is what you're passionate about. It's period. It's just direct correlation. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you have free time and some income of some sort, you will do things or you just look at the internet, see what you're looking up, whether that's cars, blah, blah, blah. It's so easy. It's just like, and for me, it was just like, I'm really good at being friendly, being popular, being happy. Like that was just my role. So I was like, well, this is the best way for me to distribute the wealth because whatever you're good at, it's like 10 times better than what you're not good at anyway.
100%. And people respond to that as well. Like, look at how many people have found you already in the first 50 days, right? I mean, I think that goes for everybody that when they start something, like that passion that you have is so reflective in your work. You know, the way you speak about something that you're excited about, you're constantly learning about is different. People respond. So like this started for me, I never would have imagined people would respond the way they did for any of my freaking videos. Not even once. But the moment it happened, it's like, oh, this is an actual thing. And everything clicked then, you know, and it's like, all right, easy, all in.
Yeah, no, that's how it was for me too. It was like, I saw the viewers and I saw the algorithm and I said, this is super doable. Like, this is like what, because you're led to believe that you're not capable of a lot. Not anyone in
dude. Oh man.
Yeah, like I totally believe now. Like if somebody would have told me, Scott, can you be a doctor when I was young? I said, fuck no. Be like, that's for smart people, right? But now I'm like, dude, could I be a doctor? Of course I could be a doctor if I had the time and I had the want to. But who the fuck I mean, the value proposition is horrible. But I'd say not an issue at all. Because I just do. I mean, if I had the time, if somebody was paying me for whatever reason to do that, but that's not really how it works. The people that do it are the ones that like to do it. But I'm saying, like, now I get it. Like, nothing's difficult. You just have to do it. Nothing's hard.
It takes time.
Nothing's hard. It's just clicking, walking, and talking. Like, it's clicking, walking, and talking. It's like, who can click the best? And all you need to do to click the best is be behind your computer a lot.
That's literally it. You spend the most time doing it. It sinks in it either sinks in right away or eventually. If you do it along, it's going one way or another. It's so true what you're saying about how like we're led to believe that about ourselves, you know? It's like everywhere you look, it's like there's this like because there's so much identifying with certain things. Either you're identified as smart or things identify you in the way you do things in your life. Like your actions place you in a box, essentially, you know, when like there is no box. There's never been a box. The
But
box exists in
you
your
got to
mind.
get
and
out of the
nowhere else.
box. How do you get out of the box? You isolate yourself from everyone.
Dude, yes.
You have to. You got to
It's such
hide
an
for a couple months.
That's such an interesting thought. Yes, 100%. Because like, if you think about the more people you're around, we are sponges. Human beings are absolute sponges, and we're literally recording devices in a way too. Everything filters in no matter what, whether at a conscious or subconscious level, all the time. And that shapes the way, like things that you don't even remember shape the way you look and treat life. Look at life and treat life, you know? So if you isolate yourself, you are absorbing less of other people, and you're becoming in a way more of who you are because you have time to just stop
Well, you're
absorbing people's
manifesting
ideas.
who you wanted to become the whole time. Like people don't realize that they actually manifest who they are. If you're doing things right, like this is the exact person that I wanted to be at this age.
Amazing.
Not financially, maybe. Like I didn't really think about it like that. But I would have never imagined in a million years I would be as confident as I am now and as productive. Never, ever. And it's amazing. Like, whoa, this shit happened. Like, and it's locked in now, dude. It's like it's in. It ain't going away now. So I'm like, holy S, this shit's crazy. Like, you can do whatever. And if you're smart enough to realize that 95% of people are still in the matrix as far as not thinking for themselves, you realize that there's no competition.
That's so true. But how do people think for themselves?
You isolate.
Yes. Right.
You have to isolate. I'm telling you, dude. People are like, Scott, why you been up in your house? So why your beard, your hair? Fuck off. I gotta learn. I need to think. I need to think. I don't need a girl sleeping with me or sitting there confusing the shit out of me. Like, not saying that they're being ill-intentive, but it's confusing. It gives you too much to think about. Like Richard Hart always says, it takes about 12 to 15 hours to do a day to do anything great in this world. So I understood that way before he told me that, and I double understand it now. And I'm like, I'm working 13, 14 hours a day, no problem.
Yep.
Not a problem at all. Nothing I'd rather be doing. Because it's just a total mindset thing. It's like you have to realize that social stuff is stupid and no one cares about you. You have to go through that whole fucking ringer. You have to go through the ringer of realizing no one's really going to be there for you. And then you have to like counter, like turn that into like a spiritual thing. And then you have to get enough insight on finance to find crypto so you can even fucking survive. And then you become super successful and people say you got lucky. And you're like, oh. You're like, oh, whoopsie, I got lucky.
Man, if you spend like as much as being social is great, you know, and being around people is nice. If you are around if you spend most of your time ingesting other people's information and ideas, you will end up like other people. And other people, for the majority, are either in a rough spot or most of them are in a spot where they either don't want to be or they think they could do better. You know, so the sooner you separate yourself from the herd, the sooner you step into your own power and your own path. And that may take, like, I mean, I'm not going to speak for where I'm going to end up, but I think I have a pretty damn good idea of where that is. And by stepping onto that path, that power is, like you're saying, confident. You know, the last like 2 months, me has changed the way I think about myself and interact with people in general. Like, I feel like myself for the first time in a long, long time. And that's from spending literally, I like you, Scott. I am literally spending so little time with people now. The most people I spend time with, I spend time talking to you. I spend time talking to people in the community. I haven't seen my family in like
weeks.
You need to I haven't seen my friends.
We do intimate Telegram groups at night where we talk about like more serious shit. Like as far as like our security and like what steps moving forward, as far as like how we're like, so if you ever want to jump in those telegrams and like just chit, like we just do chats at night if you ever bored, but you go on. Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's all good. I would love to do that.
That's where I get most of my info.
Sick. Yeah, then sign me up. I'm into that because that's the problem with this space too, is like if you like on a segue note, like you still do need people in your life, but you need to now be hyper selective if you're going down the path of, you know, like walking on your own path and building something and trying to, like we're talking about with Richard Hart, you know, build something that is relevant either to your goals or something that is just great in general. You have to have people that are either giving you a perspective that is outside of what you can actually perceive, which can then grow your perspective, or like the simplest way to put this, I'm going the longer around here. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're doing it wrong, you know? And if you need to put yourself in a position where either you may be the smartest person in the room in one aspect, but there is a multitude of other aspects where that those other people, the other person are bring other things to the table for you. You know, the more people you can surround yourself that have that kind of intel, the quicker you're going to grow, the quicker those people are going to grow.
10
at the
times
same
faster.
time. Dude, it's crazy. Like even just from being in this community and from talking to guys like you, from being in the Twitter spaces, from just literally the core community that we have, the ideas and the ways I conceptualize like my life and crypto and my finances and like everything has changed just because of the people that I've specifically placed myself in front of and around and listened to over the last 6 months. Even. It's crazy, man.
It's insane once you learn, but this is what being a man has always been about. It's just gotten fogged over time, right? Like back in the day, people had to make money by doing some skill, and they probably had a lot of feelings towards that skill because it meant a lot to them. Nothing means anything to anyone anymore. So you got to find meaning. And then my meaning is that everyone's getting wrecked and lied to. And it's ridiculous. And I'm done with, I'm done turning that into normal. Everyone wants to turn getting robbed by your insurance company. Oh yeah, it's just part of life. I'm like,
why is that a part of life?
I'm like, why do I got to accept that? Like, so yeah, no, I think it's up to you and it's up to me to be authentic. As you know, if we're at the pace that we're going, we're going to be leaders in this community. And it's important that we don't sell out, right? Like you have to be able to handle your finances, however that is for you, so that you can put yourself in a position where you don't have, because it's natural. It's not the reason people sell out is because they're broke.
Yep. And they get desperate.
Exactly. And that's just human life, right? Like, so just remember, and this is what I'm going to continue to try to do, just keep those bills fucking down. However you can. Call another insurance company, get another quote. Drop the car if you're in the city, downgrade the car to a Civic with a stick shift. Do it. Not you, everyone. Do it. Like,
and I'm going to confirm that because I'm that guy that did that a little bit too much, and now I have stuff that I need to pay for, and I can't go back. You know, it's not like it's crazy, but still, it's enough where it's like, if I don't do X, Y, and Z in a month, it's now a stressor in the back of my mind. It sucks. It ain't fun. And just to have a shiny object that does the same thing as a freaking smart car, like, it's not worth it.
Just realize you're just slow. It just slows you down to the promised land because once the money's overflowing anyway, it's all excessive amounts. Like it's just compounds quick, right? You know that. So like you go from one tax bracket to the next fairly quickly in crypto if you have money and time in the game. It's just goes up and down like crazy. But we could talk all day long. I got to get off of here, dude. Amazing conversation. Your open-mindedness. Please move forward and keep being super genuine. I'll promise I'll do the same. We can change the entire world, frankly. And we have to have guys. And I'm telling you, if you're making any mistakes in this world, you're not bouncing your ideas off enough people.
Yep. Dude, well said.
You need to be. I don't do anything without asking 2 or 3 people that are way smarter than me. So you have to understand. And those people, you are an opportunity to those people as well. All those people want something from me as well, like whatever that is that I provide, like workout stuff, maybe business opportunity in the future. But if you're valuable yourself, people will help you. But if you just ask for bullshit, like people are just going to tell you to scram.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, and on one thing I want to touch on real quick before we go, and also thank you again for having me. It's always unreal to come on. We have great chats. It's always so much fun. Sure. For any of you guys that are like want something to hold to, something to remember as far as how to live and how to have a meaning on your everyday at a daily basis, read this sign here for a second. Read this flag. Okay.
It says mind, money, muscle.
Mind, money, muscle. Take care of your mind, your mental health, your physical health, and your financial health every single day, and eventually it will change. That's how you take. Those are the only 3 core things that you can control every single day. And even if you slack for a little bit, if you focus on that, your life will drastically change. I've seen it. I'm sure you could probably attest for this just from what I'm seeing with you for your physical fitness and your financial situation, everything. I know every guy that I've ever met that has either done this subconsciously or consciously, they're in completely different places within a year to 6 months, you know? And this is all we can take care of for ourselves, for our needs. This is all we can take care of at
And
the end of
you'll
the day.
ruin it if you're not ready. If the money comes and you're not ready,
Yep.
bye graphics.
You either get your mind right before you get your money, or your ego gets your money.
Exactly. And everyone knows, I'm telling you guys, if you could learn some of this stuff beforehand like I did, the ego shit, the ego, guys, it makes no difference how cool or tough you are. Yeah, it's in public, you want to be friendly and fun, but like as far as like your ego and your bravado, it doesn't get you anywhere. Like maybe it has a place, but like it's not going to get you anywhere in public. But let it get you somewhere in private. Like let your ego get you somewhere in private. Like that's when my ego gets people. When I'm working, I'm like, what y'all doing over there? Drinking your 13th, 14th beer? I'm like, you're not even letting me lose. Like they won't even let me lose. Like it's like I'm gonna win because I just know what I'm against now. And it's not that people are stupid, it's that people have bad habits that they're taught over time. But let's not go down another rabbit hole, guys. If you are not following Crypto Graphics, start following him right this minute. He's one of my favorite streamers. Moving forward, he's probably the streamer that I watch the most as far as lately, and he's been very active. So get this guy a follow. Make sure you're watching him. He does videos too, and he keeps you up to date on the exact technicals, along with obviously like longer live stream theory stuff. But his videos are mainly like technical graphics. Appreciate everything you're doing, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the shout out. And thank you so much for having me on again. It's always an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, we'll all be living near each other soon, hopefully, and we can all just
we'll get Hexaco sorted out real soon.
Guys, GRC, hit me up. Telegram group, everything. I'm gonna be back tomorrow pumping. And hit me up, guys. If you want to talk, hit me in the Telegram. I'm going to be doing the talk spaces in the morning, and I'll be here at 11 a.m. Eastern. Have a great day, guys. Peace.
Peace and love, fam.
Out.